Good call. Good call. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
Good call. Okay, we're back. Okay, all right. It's been a shit show of a day, but we're here. We're live.
Right.
We may or may not be queer. Get used to it. Our guest tonight is running late, but we start on time because we don't give a fuck. Okay, I got to quit looking at that. I'm going to look at you.
You're going to look at me.
Yeah, I'm going to look at you.
Never want to look at me, dude.
And we're going to talk about something very important.
All right.
In the local scene here. I got to figure out how to make this fucking thing stop squeaking so much, whether it's hitting it with some fucking
3-in-1
PB blaster. I think I have the PB blaster in the house. I was just using it on my drums. My drums are finally getting to the age where I was playing my kick drum.
Yeah.
And I heard a in my right pedal. So I went and got the old PB blaster and shot her in there, because I don't know if a lot of guys know this. Don't use WD-40. WD-40 is not a lubricant.
No, it is not.
It acts as a lubricant right away, but ultimately it will actually dry your your joints out, because the WD stands for water displacement.
That's right.
I believe it stands. I might be wrong on that.
No, you're right.
I'm pretty sure it stands for water displacement.
You can fuck things up with that if you're not using it right. No, I would say use Vaseline. If you're not using it for other purposes,
I would not recommend that. Actually,
don't use Vaseline.
No, you want to use a penetrating lube, which is why PB Blaster is the best. It's one of the best penetrating lubes out there. Period. But
Vaseline is not a good lubricant.
You can use WD-40 if you're trying to like break up rust.
Yeah.
So if your shit's really tight and it won't move, sure, hit it with some WD-40. Let it loosen up and break up all the rust, and it will. It'll break away and prevent more rust from showing up because it gets rid of water.
Yep.
But then you got to blow that out with air.
Right.
And then you got to get some real lube in there, man. Real lube, like that fucking PB Blaster lube, bro.
Let's get OBS.
And I think I got to get some going on this fucking thing too, or we got to upgrade mic stands here real soon, because this fucking mic stand is driving me nuts. But let's talk about something important.
All right.
So,
important shit.
Oh, hold on. My wife is texting me. Okay, I'll take care of it tonight. All right. The old lady's oil light came on while she was running to the store for me.
Oh.
Her fucking dude, these Volkswagens, dude, piss me off.
Yeah.
She actually asked me to check her oil tomorrow. She goes, tomorrow after work, since it's Friday, can you check my oil and see if I'm doing okay? I said, yeah, of course, no problem. So she's even started to figure it out. But basically, like, she shouldn't be due for an oil change for probably another 1,000 miles, maybe 1,500. And her fucking oil light will come on early. Like her car just burn. These Volkswagens just burn fucking oil, dude. It's bullshit. All right, so we're going to talk about something very important. So I am trying to get somebody on the podcast next week who is dealing with some shit. And it is the owner of the White Rock Lounge. So basically, he's being accused of some pretty heinous shit. And, well, I wouldn't even say pretty heinous shit. Some people are just deeming it unacceptable. I don't know what happened. I want to figure out what happened. And I want to hear his side of it, because nobody's actually telling me what he's done either. That's the other thing. It's like this person, Steve, is being accused of stuff, and nobody can tell me what it is. That's why I said I shouldn't even call it pretty heinous shit.
Right.
People are calling him a creep and saying he's doing weird stuff and hitting on young girls and something about freshly turned 18-year-olds, which sounds horrible. That's what I meant when I said it sounds heinous. But I'm like, okay, so what did he actually do? And nobody will tell me. But he hasn't confirmed. We're not sure he's coming on. I don't know if it's going to happen. But I want to do this. I want to see what's going on. I want to hear him out. I'm not defending him if he's grooming girls, if he's doing some weird, creepy shit. I told him flat out, because I did talk to him on the phone. I said, I will, like, disavow you or whatever it's called. But if he didn't do anything, man, like, what's up with bitches who be talking shit, bro? Like, why do women get to, like, accuse you of horrible things, and then when you didn't do them, even though your life has already been ruined?
Yeah.
Like, look at Trevor Bauer, right? Look at that kid from Duke, that black kid from Duke who got accused of raping that girl, and it, like, Not only was he exonerated, but like, or sorry, yeah, he was exonerated, but not only was his life ruined, but like his future was taken from him. Like, I'm talking about this basketball player who did prison time.
Right.
And like, yeah, he was eventually let out, but he was going to go to the NBA. Like, these bitches got to be getting charged, bro. Like, I can't handle this shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's like Danny Masterson.
make sure. Well, Danny, no, I don't know.
That was 20 years ago.
He got convicted, so I don't know about that one, though, dude.
That was all.
But here's the thing.
Same basic thing. They ruined his career.
Are you on the mic?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I'm not arguing with you, dude.
Right.
What I'm saying is, like, he was convicted. Well, I guess so was the first guy I was referencing, too.
Supposedly on all circumstantial
and
evidence.
here's the thing. I don't know. It's tough because have you ever been on a jury trial
No,
for something like complex?
I've lucked out so
for
much.
some dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was on a mock jury trial, so I got hired. I got
Oh.
paid like $500 or $250. No, it was $500 because it was $250 each day. And basically, they were just trying to figure out who was going to win the real trial. So I guess they did like 10 of these because this is how I got told about it. So they literally ran through the trial like 10 times before they actually went to court. And I think the reason for this was what I kind of put together was they were trying to figure out if it would just make more sense to settle out of court.
Right.
Because they're like, okay, if we're definitely going to lose and every one of these fake juries keeps giving them, $20 million, let's try to get them to take 10 or 15 and save the court fees, right?
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got. My point is, after going through that experience and knowing other people who've been on like murder trials, you don't really know unless you have all the information. Like, you really have to like truly be on the actual jury.
Yeah.
So I'm not willing to even comment on Danny Masterson. The Danny Masterson shit seemed like bullshit, but he did get convicted. So I don't know. Like, and that's one of my questions is, did he get it? It sounds like he got convicted for aggressive sex.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. Like, what does this even mean
a stacked
anymore?
Jury. There were more
What does that mean? What do you mean a stacked
more women
jury?
on that jury than men, first of all. So
are those even his peers?
No.
Is that even a jury of peers? Like, shouldn't that
not.
jury be all men then? If it's a jury of peers, shouldn't it be all men?
Yeah. I mean, everything I read, I just kept saying, no, this can't be, no. But, yeah.
He does have a rapey little face, though, if we're being honest.
But, even
his face does say, like,
his coworkers,
he, like, bites women during sex.
But his coworkers come out and say he is a stand-up guy.
Sure.
And has been ever since he's known him from, teenager. But yet that did not matter.
Should we talk about Kamala Harris before Ian gets here? So if you guys don't like Donald Trump because he makes shit up, which is true, he does. He lies and makes shit up.
Sure.
Kamala Harris is way worse. She does everything Trump does and worse.
And more.
And people are like, oh, Donald Trump is going to be a dictator. He's going to abuse his institutional power. Here's the thing. Kamala Harris literally did all of those things.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted to. Didn't we talk about this on the last podcast?
Yeah, like
she
2 weeks
fucking
ago.
wanted to punish parents for truancy.
Yeah.
She kept black men in jail past their sentences for basically free slave labor.
Exactly.
I'm adding that last part. She didn't say that, but she laughed when asked about these things because she laughs at everything. It's insane. She's an insane person. This whole thing is insane.
Well, I mean, that's.
But I'm officially voting for Donald Trump. I want to say that publicly.
Somebody who thinks they're untouchable.
I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I don't care anymore. And it's not because I support Donald Trump. It's literally, and it's not even because I'm voting against Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I'm literally saying, you guys, the DNC, you've become so irrational that I am going to vote for your opposition until you get better. Like, you need to just be better.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back and I'll vote for you again.
You're just voting for the lesser of two evils.
I'm actually not. It's literally even more than a protest vote.
Okay.
It's like a spite vote.
Yeah.
I'm saying, listen to me. You always have had my vote, and you took advantage of that. You alienated me Okay? You became irrational. You started virtue signaling and pandering to everybody.
Yep.
You started lying through your teeth. You literally became worse than the Republicans. And a lot of the things I stood for with you guys, you've now alienated. Right? So they're super pro-war. Right? They're super pro-war.
Oh, yeah.
The transgender shit is all fun and games until we started talking about kids. And they signed protection bills.
Yeah.
No, if kids want it, we're doing it.
Yep.
In California
Parents
now,
don't have a say anymore.
exactly. And now that's not about protecting a child's rights. Children don't have rights.
Right.
And they shouldn't have rights because they're fucking children.
Yep.
Adults and parents should have rights, and you invaded that. Now you're saying the government
took it
knows
away.
better.
Yeah.
And you crossed ethical lines for me that I'm saying I will never vote for you again until you fix these things. And then I'll be right back, because I agree the Republicans are a bit much, but I can handle the evangelicals. I can use their own wisdom and logic against them, and I can get them to back down. Right. I can, because believe it or not, somehow the right, even the evangelicals, are now the more reasonable of the two parties. Because when I use Christians' logic against them in an argument, they don't call me a bigot. They don't call me a racist. They don't call me disgusting.
Yeah.
They don't shame me.
Right.
But literally, that those word for word are insults that I'm commonly referred to when I argue with anybody on the left. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, literally, I've been called a bigot by simply acknowledging that what the left is doing is wrong on issue X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
It's insanity, dude.
I'm
going to vote for Trump. I hate that guy. I fucking hate this guy. And I'm going to have to accept any responsibility for any bullshit he does. But I also won't, though, because we live in Minnesota and my vote is technically going to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota is going to go for Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. So my vote is actually irrelevant. So that's the other thing. Is like, if Trump wins, you actually can't blame me, because I guarantee you Minnesota's going to Tim Walz. Which, by the way, let's rant on this Tim Walz thing real quick.
Well, let me just say 3 words. Henry Ross Perot. I miss those days. He was a great guy. You miss Ross Perot? I miss Ross Perot.
I'm a little too young for Ross. I remember his big-ass ear, that big-eared motherfucker. I remember him.
Big ear and that Southern Texas accent. And sitting on TV
wasn't he the only one who was like pro-legal weed back then, too?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that true? He was like legal weed in like 1992?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Look that up.
I don't know. That was the first guy who actually impressed me enough to actually want to go in and vote. And it didn't matter what party he was on. It was just the man himself. He was so, I don't know. It was weird. He's a little guy talking funny, but he's a billionaire, you know. And he was going to run the country like a business. It was what he was going to do.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
What were we talking about? Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
And then what did I bring up?
We were going to talk about something, then I interrupted you.
We were talking about Kamala and how she's an insane person.
And
I hate Donald Trump, but I'm still going to vote for Trump
because...
Well, there is no because. I hate that guy, but I'm still going to do it. So let's talk about Tim Walz. So everybody was surprised when they picked Tim Walz.
Right.
Dude, you can ask my wife. I predicted this. Right? And this is why I'm like, I need to talk about politics and this kind of shit way more. Oh my God. Thank you, my love. What do I owe you? $30? $48? What is that? 12-pack fucking made of gold? Oh, it does say gold on it. $30. That's what I figured. Thank you, my love. I'll send it to you right away. So
$20.
Actually, Kate's right here. Hold on. Baby, come back.
$20.
Baby, come back.
And a dive.
Come here. Baby, come back. Come here. You don't have to come on camera, but did I or did I not say 2 years ago, Tim Walz is passing so many bills that are literally meaningless, it seems as if he's building a resume to run for either president or vice president. Did I not say that literally 2 years ago?
Yeah. After that hair discrimination.
Yep. Yeah, so there was two bills actually. So one was the free lunches for everyone in the state of Minnesota if you're a student in the state of Minnesota. And I just simply started asking questions on Twitter. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. We've always had free school lunches for anybody who is underprivileged, right? And people would just yell at me and they'd go, yeah, but now it's for everyone. And I was like, yeah, but a lot of people don't need it. And they're like, how do you not understand? This is better. And I was like, how is it better to give free shit to people who don't need free shit?
Right.
Like, and they're like, I just can't wrap my head around the fact that some people just don't want to help kids. And I was like, no, you're not listening. We already have free lunches for underprivileged kids. Now you're just giving them away, meaning you're literally charging me, because I pay property taxes. You're charging me more money to feed kids who don't need to be fed. And I don't trust you to feed the kids in the most cost-effective way or the most healthy to begin with.
Exactly.
So I'm fine, because I was one of those kids who was underprivileged, and my mom had to get me on the fucking, it wasn't food stamps, but it was like a thing. And I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This is a hollow victory. This is something you do to just pander to people and be like, look what I did. Right? And then he passed another one called the Hair Discrimination Act, which means you can no longer fire a black woman for wearing her natural hair.
Right.
Which is totally understandable. But here's the thing, dude. Like, I can fire you for literally any other reason in the state of Minnesota. Like, it's an at-will employment state. The line is, I can fire you because I don't like the color of your car. Right? I can fire you because you're a Packer fan. I can fire you for any fucking reason I want. And then you pass an act that says, except for these one group of people with this one thing. Like, what?
Very specific.
It's meaningless. It's fucking meaningless. Because if I want to fire you because of your hair, now I can just say I'm firing you because of your car or the way you dress or your shoes or your attitude or your personality or what. Because we're still in at-will employment state. So these are hollow victories.
They are.
So it looked very much to me like he was stacking a resume. And I'm like, you would only do that if you're aspiring to do something at a higher political level. And there's nothing higher than governor other than president.
Exactly.
So it was super obvious. So then my point is, where I was going with this is, like 2 months ago or whatever it was, or a month ago when it was official she was going to run, and they were like, oh, who's going to be your candidate? I looked at my wife and I go, it's going to be Tim Walz. And then I literally broke it down. I go, because she's a radical fucking lefty. She's a black woman, right? And this is how you do things now. So how do you balance that ticket? Well, you need to find a straight white man who seems moderate, and they're going to pick a Midwestern guy because she's from the left, or not the left, but the West Coast, right? So she's a California girl, too. And I was like, they're going to fucking pick Tim Walz. It's super fucking obvious. And everybody's like, no, I think it's going to be the Shapiro guy. I'm like, it's fucking Tim Walz. Like, I'm telling you. Everything he did is the perfect recipe for the left, which is virtue signaling and pandering. It's hollow victories, dude. They're not actually doing anything for anybody. It's all hollow, dude.
See, and I don't do politics, but I just, wearing my tinfoil hat, I see even more sinister plans involved here. So, they can look at who's going to be president, but what really matters is who's going to be vice president when there is no president.
What do you mean?
I mean that plans within plans. Okay. Who do you put in place if you don't care about who is the top dog? Because you care about the next dog in line, because the top dog can go away.
Well, that was my theory with Biden to begin with, is I thought when Biden became the candidate,
me too.
I was so terrified.
Yeah.
When he picked Kamala Harris, I was like, bro, she's going to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's going to kill him, and she's going to become president. And I was actually blown away every day, every week, every month that went by. And it wasn't suddenly Joe Biden is dead and Kamala Harris is president. I genuinely thought that was going to happen.
Heart attack. I'm doing air quotes.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, so some of the conspiracies are legit, but like some of my fears are not. And some people laugh at me and they're like, dude, you're paranoid in your little weird echo chamber. Well, first of all, maybe I am a little paranoid, but first of all, being paranoid also helped me never get busted when I was selling weed. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
being paranoid keeps you safe and alive
It does.
sometimes too.
Yeah.
So being paranoid is like a really interesting way to try to dismiss somebody's very valid concerns.
Right.
Because Kamala Harris is on record that like in her speech that I watched live with Tim Walz, I told everybody, mark my words, if they win, they're coming for the guns and they will prosecute speech. Everybody laughed at me, dude. They literally called me paranoid. And here's the thing. She says this openly. She's going to pass the assault weapons ban by executive order.
Yep.
She's going to fucking God, what was it too? It's something surrounding hate speech, basically, and misgendering. Like they want to pass laws that circumvent free speech. I can't quote it. You could probably look this up, but basically, she wants to prosecute speech.
Sure. Well, I crack open 1984.
I mean, that's what you do, right?
Just
First
read that.
you prosecute your political rivals, and a guy named Donald Trump, who I don't even fucking like, but it's super obvious that that's what you're doing to this guy. And then on top of that, you turn around, and once you get power again, then you prosecute anybody who criticizes you or your allies, which are the extreme left, the squad. Now I even have buddies. I even have buddies online saying, well, I unfriend people who are misogynistic. And I'm like, oh, so you're literally just setting up this idea. I see what you're doing. If we're doing volleyball, you just did the set, right? Where you like push the volleyball up in the air.
Spike.
And what the spike is when I criticize Kamala Harris for being a fucking idiot, you get to call me a misogynist.
Yeah.
Just like when I criticize Barack Obama, who I voted for, by the way. But when I criticized Barack Obama, people said, you're only criticizing him because you're racist.
Right.
And it's like, if I was racist, why did I vote for him? Well, you only voted for him to try to show people you're not racist.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, you only voted for him because you're white guilt. I'm like, bros, you guys are the mental gymnastics that these people will do. Oh, yeah. It's blowing my mind. I can't get over it, dude. It's fucking crazy, dude.
I want to say one more quick thing before our guest shows up here, which sounds like he might be, is
that was a 4 out of 10.
I'm going to find it very interesting to see what kind of antics happen around the whole voting, and after the aftermath.
It's going to be super interesting.
4 years ago.
It's going to be super interesting because I think you have two delusional groups that worship their party in the Democrats. So it's literally blue no matter who.
Yep.
And if I were the right, I would like coin the term better red than dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey. But they don't. But they do worship right now. They do worship Trump. Like they do worship Trump. So you've got the right who's worshiping one guy, but then you have the entire left that will do anything to justify the term blue no matter who. And then they try to say, no, it's just because of Trump. And it's like, no, your phrase is blue no matter who. Like, that means you're going to vote blue no matter how bad your candidate is, and you're going to vote blue no matter how good the other candidate is. And I'm not saying Trump is good, but it's super obvious that it is not. The left is not voting on who's the best candidate, dude. Anybody in their right mind that tries to tell me Kamala Harris is going to be a good president.
What the fuck are you talking about, Jared?
We're ranting.
Is this hot?
Yeah, it is a hot mic.
Headphones
it is a hot mic. Yeah, I'm ranting, dude. I'm ranting. I'm killing time until you got here, bro. And honestly, I've been killing it.
I appreciate that.
I've been very rational in my rants. I haven't gone extremist in either direction. Make sure you keep that mic real close to you.
You made me cry a little bit, but that's okay.
But that was because we were talking about your tiny penis.
That's true.
Mine?
Have you heard about this shit going down at the White Rock, dude?
Steve is a really good friend of mine, and I will say that on the record publicly. So,
well, I'm trying to get him on the podcast.
Well,
I want to hear his side of it.
I do too, because.
Do you know what he's actually being accused of? Because nobody will tell me.
I don't actually. I've heard some gossip. Actually, Mr. Moog and I talked about it recently. Greg from Black Blood Diesel.
Yep.
And I would say, what's the Forrest Gump quote? I'm just trying to make a stupid analogy here.
Stupid is as stupid does?
Guilty is as guilty is. So, if he's guilty, then it'll come out, right? But there is such a thing as defamation of character in this world. So if he's not, I hope whoever's accusing him of shit has their facts straight. That's all I can say, because I'm not I am defending Steve because I think the jury is out, and I don't know his business per se. I lived in New Orleans for a long time. I watched him work hard to get his venue going, and so I sincerely hope, personally, because I've known Steve for a long time, and I've never seen, aside from, the man's been sober for a long time. He got his shit together, and that's admirable. Outside of that, I can't speak to it.
So what it seemed
way.
like to me, bro, it seemed like to me is basically we're kink shaming a guy who did nothing technically,
I mean, unless
ethically
he's dealing...
wrong or legally wrong. Because I haven't heard, nobody will formally be like, this is
I've
what he did.
I've never heard anything damning other than he might be, I've heard it's revolving around
18 and 19-year-old girls. That's what I got.
haven't even heard that many details. I've just heard he does photo shoots of, scantily clad females.
Do you know how many fucking guys do that? I mean, that's half the reason.
Do you know how many women do that?
That's half the reason most men get into photography, dude.
I'm not a photographist. I have this.
A photographist?
A photographist because I like. And here's my vodka to continue photographisting.
Dude, thanks for fucking showing up, dude.
Yeah, short notice.
Super short notice, dude.
Look, I don't want this to be the topic of conversation tonight.
But it is. I also don't want to shy away from it because it needs to be talked about.
It does.
Because if he did, and I think we're both saying the same thing. If it's true, and he did something fucked up,
then he should pay the price.
Then he should at least repent.
Right. So
right?
even
and make amends. But if nothing happened, if nothing at all happened, then it's actually almost as fucked up or more fucked up to make shit up or to exaggerate or to try to go after somebody for literally doing something that's legal. And you're just kind of like...
Correct.
Like, who is the moral authority of like...
There's the law, and then there's social mores, right?
Which I don't buy into the social mores because at one point in time, social mores said slavery was okay.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So, but
like I don't do that, dude. Like here's the
got a
thing.
hand up.
Turn his mic up a little bit.
The gain, the straight
gain on
gain.
him. Yep.
Either that or he's got to start making out with it harder.
I just I've always been so soft spoken.
I think you're in 4. You should be in 4. Is that better? Hopefully you can't hear the fan. The fan is the only thing I'm actually worried about.
Yeah.
But we got to keep it cool down here, otherwise it gets way too
this
hot.
is obviously not the first time that this has happened in our music community or another one. Homeboy from who was playing in Ministry, Sin, Quirin, went through some shit. I don't know what the outcome of that was, but that was in the last 4 years or so where...
well, and I don't want to air everybody's dirty laundry. This is just something that's currently happening right now, dude. And it's honestly, it's bothering me because...
It bothers me too, man. I have an 8-year-old daughter.
If he did something super legit, why can't anybody just fucking tell me what he did, dude? Like, what did he actually do that's legitimately wrong or illegal in any way? But everybody's, and then I'm not going to name him on the podcast, but I got in a very heated discussion today with somebody else, not the guy you were talking about, but somebody equally close to the situation. And he just kept telling me to do more research. And he goes, talk to the people that work for him. I'm like, cool, who? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? You won't tell me what he did. And you won't tell me who to talk to. This is, the more and more I look into it, the more and more it sounds like some bullshit, dude.
Can I level with you on the topic in general?
Yeah.
Here's my basic opinion of it. If there is a situation in life where something of this nature comes up, there's a reason it came up, right? Because I've never been in the middle of one.
I mean, if you fly too close to the sun, you could get burned.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean...
Correct.
That doesn't mean you actually did anything wrong.
There could always be a gray area.
But here's what I'm saying. Because what you're kind of beating around the bushes is like, where there's smoke, there's probably fire. Yeah, I get that, but we got to be very careful because here's the reality that I think both of us have lived through. You can be arrested, and that doesn't mean you actually committed a crime. You could be charged with a crime.
Correct.
That
Yeah.
does not mean you committed that crime. You can be convicted of a crime, and it does not mean you actually did that crime.
I mean, in this situation, I don't think we're dealing with like a mistaken identity per se. You know, where some crimes.
But are you following me though?
I am.
Like
I
you
am.
can do prison time for something you didn't fucking do. So we need to be very careful.
Exactly.
This is what we were talking
why,
about before. Before you got here, we were talking about
that's
the court
why
of
I will
public
say
opinion.
on record for whoever is listening, I've known Steve for a long time. I would give him the benefit of the doubt until I would actually know.
Holy shit, look at this. On any given day,
factual information.
Listen
otherwise.
to this, dude. On any given day, 1/4 of everyone incarcerated in America is jailed pre-trial, presumed innocent, convicted of no crime. That's 500,000 people every day. Those accused of crimes are incarcerated simply because they are too poor to buy their freedom. Or I don't like the way they ended that sentence.
Yeah.
What it really means is they're too poor to defend themselves properly in court. They just do time for crimes they never committed.
I have personally been locked up for that exact same situation.
But let's take this analogy though and apply it to what we're talking about, which is the court of public opinion, which has no rules to abide by. It's at the whims of whoever gets everybody emotionally riled up, and that's what I'm upset about, because like this dude is, even if nothing happened, it seems like the damage is either being done or has already been done, and I find that very upsetting because nothing has actually been said, dude. Like, what did he do, bro?
I had to turn my hat around just so that you can see that I am a saint. I've never done anything wrong.
As you're wearing a Satanist t-shirt.
Yes.
It says, by the way, it says Terrier Cult.
Terrier
So
Cult.
it says Satanist, but it's got a little Jack Russell Terrier.
I'm not
for
a
the
Satanist,
listeners.
but my Boston Terrier is. She actually
for the listeners, that
bought me
this image is hilarious.
She actually bought me this t-shirt for Christmas because she's such a huge fan of Jesus. But anyways.
Sure she is. Yeah.
That was like, you like how I did that? It's like I used to have long hair and I
Oh,
have to
yeah.
like fluff it, but now I just have
for
to
the cord.
do it with the cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very good. No, because here's the thing, dude. I'm not defending this Steve guy. I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never set foot in his club.
Fair.
But what I'm seeing from the outside is he's not getting a fair shake, and it bothers me.
I don't
I'm
think so either.
personally offended on his behalf, and I don't even fucking know the guy. All I want to hear is his side of the story, and then I want anybody else on the other side to just tell me concretely what he actually did wrong, and have it not come from like a personal thing. Have it come from like, here's the principles that society is built on, and says this is wrong.
Well, here's the deal.
So grooming is my point. If you, like Steve, you said before the podcast, if he knew this girl at 13 and waited until the day after she turned 18,
that's messed up.
Not illegal, super unethical.
Right.
Like super fucked up, right?
Yeah, very.
Would anybody ever argue with that?
No.
Well, I guarantee you somebody would. But
I can say I
no
have known
rational
Steve.
person.
Steve has never struck me as the type of person that would be in this situation. However, things change. But like I said, I'm going to maintain that, that in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty.
So let me ask you this.
So if there was a crime committed, somebody file charges and go to court
How old
and
is
figure
Steve?
some shit out.
How old is Steve?
Otherwise, let's not. Steve's a year or two older than me, and do I really have to say how
just
old
fucking,
that is?
dude, stop it.
I am 48, gonna be 49.
Okay, dope.
He's 50.
Okay. So
Ish,
if
one.
it's a 50-year-old guy and it's an 18-year-old guy, nobody's blinking an eye. No one cares. If it's a 50-year-old woman doing a lesbian thing with an 18-year-old woman, no one bats an eye.
We got to be careful where to tread because life is full of double standards.
If it's an 18-year-old, no, because the Kevin Spacey thing, here's the thing, that was also completely made up. But the fucking, if it's an 18-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman, no one cares. So at some point in time, are we really talking about equal rights? Like, is she an adult? Is she, her own woman who gets to make her own decisions?
Well,
or
or
are we talking about something completely different? Where are we actually inferring that at 18 years old she's not a woman and she's a victim? Go for it. Yeah, of course.
I can make an analogy. So
this is assuming no sexual assault, by the way.
Right. But to your point of like risque photos happen all day long, and people, the photographer and the people who are being photographed are all consenting. If there were release forms, things were filed, yada yada. People have done their due diligence to make sure that people are of age. I feel like Steve, being a successful venue owner that so many people are excited about, he's filling a void in the Twin Cities music scene by providing a venue, an all ages venue, mind you, that is providing a severe, a needed outlet for kids to play shows and music. And I feel like, and I was following Steve because I was still living in New Orleans. Steve spends time in Florida, and we talk. We've talked for years. I've known him for 20 plus years, and the fact of the matter is that he did everything by the book legally because he had to jump through a bunch of hoops. There were some setbacks to get his venue going. He didn't cut any corners.
Right.
And I know that because we were talking, and it was at the time when I was thinking about moving back to from New Orleans back to Minneapolis. And Steve and I were talking, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm open. I've got a partner. I'm opening up this new venue." And I said, "Well, you know, Steve, when I had downtime from touring, I ran a music venue in New Orleans briefly. If you need some contacts, anything you want, man, like I'm here at your disposal. You just let me know. And in fact, if you need some help, I'll volunteer. Whatever, pay me if you can. But I'm moving back to the cities without a job. If you get, you know, so." That's me and Steve's relationship, right? Steve and I's. And he did everything by the book. And it took him quite substantially longer than he had hoped to open the venue because of some legal hurdles that had to be, you know, whether it was paperwork being filed or health codes that needed to be addressed and signed off on by the proper officials before the place could legitimately open. He did those things. So I find it very hard to believe that Steve, having worked so hard to get where he is, would be that careless with something like this. So,
but again, even if it is quote unquote careless,
or
and she's 18,
maybe that's
19
the wrong
years
word.
old, if she's
I don't
18,
know.
19 years
that's
old,
the wrong word. But whatever.
But even if it's the right word, dude, here's what I'm saying: if it's 18, 19 years old. Like, we're just kink shaming a guy now. We're kink shaming a guy out of business. That's what we're doing.
Jared, did you really have a cancellation tonight, or was this just a setup to get Ian to come in? No, I swear to God, dude.
No, Rob Carlson was supposed to come on, but he said his water. He said his water heater.
Rob Carlson, you fucking owe me, bro. Because no, I'm just kidding. I love you, Rob.
No, but change the graphic and everything.
No, but it's literally one of those deals where it's like,
you found a picture.
I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about. Like,
well, let's back up a second.
Here's the thing: if he threw himself on a woman, if he got a woman drunk and then she stayed behind late at his bar, if he straight up raped a girl, like these are things you just say.
Those are bad things.
But they're things you just say. Like, this is what he did. Right? But like anything I've heard that he's done, I'm like, okay.
The one thing that I've heard, which is helping me kind of take the stance that I'm taking right now, is that I heard that it was a legal-aged person and there was a love triangle, potentially, that was involved, and that somebody feels slighted.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
And they are of age, and it sounds like somebody is not happy with the situation, and I'm going to leave it right there. I don't know.
That's exactly what it sounds like, too.
Details.
It sounds like a jaded lover.
That's
somebody got rejected.
But I don't want to sound insensitive, but that is only what's been described to me, and I will say it was a man that described that to me. It is somebody that does know Steve, yada, yada, yada. I'm not defending it. I just know Steve's character, and this is very surprising to me. I will qualify that.
If I had an 18-year-old, 19-year-old daughter, do I want her hanging out with a 50-year-old man? No. But
absolutely
if I tell her fucking ass not to do this, And she does it anyways.
As a grown-ass adult.
Exactly, because now she's
woman.
not a 16, 17-year-old girl, right? Yeah, she technically has legal age to consent, but she's still not an adult, right? Then I could take a different course. But once she hits 18, 19, at some point in time, there has to be a line which says, no, you are on your own,
Jared,
and you are a responsible adult.
Jared, does your show have a phone a friend feature?
You can call somebody if you want.
I didn't know if this was, what is that?
No, we can't call them.
No.
Was that Hollywood Squares where we can phone a friend for an answer?
No, it's
That was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
Fuck.
Maybe one of the best.
We need to do that.
Have you seen?
Hook up a line.
We can. So what I'm going to do is I actually have the snowball mic.
Yeah.
So we can use that as a source through the Apple FaceTime thing.
Yep.
But we got to get this.
You need to put a DI on it.
We got to
otherwise you
get
the
this
buzz.
mic hooked up,
Yep.
or this computer hooked up. But
Yep.
we'll get there.
Okay.
Why? Who do you want to call?
I don't want to. No, I was going to say. Let's,
Ghostbusters.
You don't get
no,
$1
let's
million.
get a woman musician's opinion on this. And I was just talking to.
No, I don't want to. I don't want
Amanda
to.
the other
I don't
day,
want to
and-
put a random woman on blast and ask her to speak for all women. That's fucked
fair.
up.
That's fair. I don't
Because
know.
we're not even speaking for all dudes
I just
right
know
now.
that she would be objective about it from a woman's
Sure.
perspective. But
Dude, if she ever comes back to Minneapolis, I got to get her on the podcast, dude. I actually have her fucking phone number. I've always had her phone number. I don't remember ever getting her phone number, but I've
unless the
literally-
Los Angeles Dodgers are playing the Twins,
homie.
she's not going to come back.
She used to be an
Minneapolis.
Angels fan, dude. So I don't want to hear this fucking baseball bullshit about Amanda Nelson. But did you know she went to school?
Harris.
It used to be Nelson, though, right?
No.
I swear to God, it was Nelson.
No.
That's a different Amanda then.
Different
My bad,
Amanda.
Amanda. I apologize. Did you know she went to school with my fucking sister?
Way up north.
Yeah. Yeah, like she knows my biological sister.
That's cool.
Ashley.
So what I was gonna say though on this topic, and then let's switch it up. But
That you're
well, you know, I was friends. I'm still friends with Sean Tillman from Harmar Superstar. I go way back with that dude to my Mind Rape thrash metal
Oh, nice.
days.
I'm trying to get him on the podcast too.
I could help you out with that.
Put in a good
he
word
could-
for me.
He could probably use the positive publicity because of the fact that he also went through the same shit. He's
And that one
blacklisted.
also kind of sounded like some bullshit.
He can't play in town.
That also sounded like some bullshit.
I don't know. I
And
don't.
even
I
if
don't
it
think
wasn't
the
bullshit,
jury
here's
ever
the thing.
got out on that.
But here's the thing. Even if it's not bullshit, even if he did fuck up, okay, fine. At what point in time is a man redeemed? Like, this is the thing is like, I'm
or
not
anyone for that matter.
I'm not okay
You
with
people make mistakes.
exactly
How
dude.
bad was it?
Exactly, bro.
If
It's
it
like-
dictates jail time, then do your time.
right, dude.
If it dictates a nice,
Right.
sincere public apology, then
Right.
let the
I mean,
punishment
dude quit drinking.
let
Dude
the punishment
sober.
fit the crime.
Dude did a little public apology. He quit drinking. He fucking went into not a recluse state, but he like definitely retreated from the public eye, reevaluated, changed his life. I believe he's married now. If he's not married, he's got
I think his
this
fiance,
gorgeous girlfriend.
well, I
God,
think-
she has
I think-
she has like the most beautiful
I think at
smile.
the time the stuff came up, he's still with the woman who he was then engaged to and is now married to. And
I think he is married. Yeah.
so she,
So at what point
she
in time is a
followed
man
him through
redeemed?
the whole trials and tribulations of it. And so, again,
Can we even quantify this though? Seriously,
I
like
don't know.
at what point is a man redeemed? Like you said, if he goes to jail and he does his time, he paid his debt to society. Literally, that's what it is. Like I paid my debt to
It
society.
depends on who
like,
you
no,
ask,
you went to jail.
though.
You
I
did your
mean-
time. You've now been released.
Man, child molestation is a big deal.
Those people should never get out of jail. They can never pay their debt
Look,
to
I
society.
don't have any biological children, but I have 2 nephews and a niece, all under the age of 11, and my
I don't think
probably someday adopted daughter, who's 8 right now, I treat as my own, and I would lose my shit if somebody hurt her. You know
Here's
what I'm
the thing.
saying? So
if you commit a super violent rape where there's like a genuine attack and like a beating and there's like bloodshed, I'm going to treat you like a pedophile and you should never get out of prison, right? But if it's one of those weird things where it's like he was 18, got accused of rape, got convicted, like maybe we should give that kid a second chance. But then if he even fucks up just once and rapes another girl, nope, you're done now. Like okay, we tried that, you fucked up. Pedophiles, never a second chance.
I will-
But even murderers can be rehabilitated. So like we do this Why can't we do this socially? Why can't we do this culturally? And that's why I'm throwing down. That's why I'm like, I don't care what anybody thinks of me anymore. I don't care what anybody thinks of my YouTube show
It's
anymore.
human nature, man. We're a species that actually are content with passing by homeless people and not doing a goddamn thing about it.
Well, okay. Great. Okay, let's move on. Because this is a great analogy. Here's the thing. I think the reality is most of us can't do anything because we're struggling to get by just in our
ourselves.
own lives. And people will think, oh, well, Jared, you drive an Audi. Bitch, that shit is 15 years old. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That is a 2009 thing. I bought that motherfucker for $4,600. Do not talk to me about what kind of car I drive.
I work on it every
Like,
week.
I don't want to hear a fucking thing about my car is cheaper than yours, bitch. It just looks expensive. Shut the fuck up. That is a 15-year-old vehicle.
I think at the end of the day,
No, do you see what I'm saying?
I
though?
do.
Like,
I do. And
that is not fair. But people do that.
to address rehabilitation in general, even somebody who is a pedophile, what's the difference between a pedophile and an alcoholic? Somebody who can't control their drinking versus somebody who can't control those other faculties, right?
Because
I'm just saying
a pedophile
is
not only creates victims, but they create victims who statistically have been proven to go on and create more victims.
Okay, yes, but what I'm saying is the prison system how you rehabilitate people. So
Right, and the only people I think should never be even attempted to be put back into society are pedophiles and violent rapists. There are those guys where it's like he got accused of rape and he definitely didn't rape her and he's doing time
and
he served his sentence. You let him out and nothing happens ever again with that guy. That happens a lot. So
and
like,
so you also have to give look in Steve's
I understand if any women is listening to this, they're going, Jared, all rape is violent. And I'm trying to explain, no, it's not. No, it's not. Because here's the thing. Sometimes the way the law reads is if she's drunk, she can't consent. Well, at what point is, again, kind of with the Me Too shit, at what point in time is it a man's responsibility to breathalyze a woman and find out where is her level of intoxication? Because this is a thing. I'm not making this up. This is a thing. There is an actual campaign in writing. They've taken public ad space that says if she's intoxicated, she cannot consent. Which, again, I believe
this is a Jodie Foster phone a friend moment.
I believe this is some anti-feminism shit. You're basically saying that women aren't capable of being drunk and still being responsible. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about, dude? I thought it was equal rights. I thought women were as equal as men.
Well,
so I can be held responsible for what I do when I'm drunk, but you can't be held responsible for what you do when you're drunk.
Is he responsible for raping a girl? If
of course he
drunk,
is. You're goddamn right he is.
Responsible.
Yeah, because he's a piece of shit
no matter
rapist.
how drunk he is.
You're goddamn
drunk.
right. And he should go to fucking jail. And if he beats the shit out of a girl in order to do it, I don't think he should ever get out.
Yeah.
But if, like I said, if it's an 18-year-old guy and it's an 18-year-old girl and she just simply regrets it, right? And he gets trumped up on a rape charge for 5 to 7 years, and then he gets out of jail and never does anything wrong ever again for the rest of his life, we can probably say there's two chances. Either he's a psychopath who raped a girl and flew too close to the sun and got burned,
sociopath,
and then flew under the radar the rest of his life, or he never did that shit and she just fucked him up. She ruined the early part of his life.
Yeah.
It's one of those two things.
He can recover.
But only in the circumstance where when you let him out, he never does anything wrong ever again.
Yeah.
So again, if you let this guy out where you're like, maybe he didn't do it, and then he gets accused or gets raped, nope, you're done. Like, treat him like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Those guys should never be in society again. Those are the only people I think that cannot be rehabilitated. Specifically pedophiles, though.
Fair enough.
Specifically pedophiles, dude. I think if you're a pedophile, I think you're literally
that's another level.
It's the worst version of humanity. I truly believe. I cannot think of a worse type of person than a pedophile.
Well, because you're talking about minors who don't necessarily have enough experience with life to even know.
Is he still on the mic when he's
something?
Off?
Yeah.
That signal's still okay when he does that?
Yeah, it's a little low.
Okay.
I'm just saying that is the lowest because of the fact that kids don't know. They don't have enough life experience to know if an adult
man,
is taking advantage of them or if it's okay or if it's not. And there's too much.
You will permanently
in every
change
case
that
of pedophilia or whatever. If you talk to that person that was abused when they were a child, they'll 9 times out of 10 the story goes that they didn't know what was happening was inappropriate.
Well, let's even take a breath for a second.
Trust the adult around them.
Let's take a
okay?
breath for a second. Let's take a breath for a second.
Anyways.
Yeah.
We can make this exact point in a less extreme way. You can fuck up a kid by talking to them in the wrong way.
Yeah, you can.
Now add in some weird sexual manipulation in there. Bro, you're talking about breaking a human being. And we know now
It's
it's
disgusting.
a cascading effect that makes the world a shittier place to live in. Just like we also know teaching a kid to read gives that kid a better chance to make it in the world. But not only that, bro, it also gives that kid a better chance to contribute to society and potentially make my life better too. So teaching a kid to read is actually secretly a selfish act. My point is when you do the opposite of that, when you talk to a kid the wrong way, if you hit a kid, if you molest a kid, dude, not only are you fucking that kid up, but you're actually making the world a worse place for everybody else to live in, because it's almost guaranteed that kid is going to go on to be a pedophile, a serial killer, a wife beater, a child hitter.
Or at a minimum confused or upset and
or
hurt
seriously mentally
traumatized
unwell
and
homeless,
post-traumatic
shitting on the
stress
street.
disorder.
You can traumatize a kid by just having two adults, parents,
that argue too much
and yelling at each
I
other.
knew that's what you were going to say, because that's what happened to me,
Sit
dude.
down
So
and
can
read
I-
to your child.
Can I
That's the best
summarize
thing you
this
can do.
by saying, like, maybe the solution is that we need to give better resources to adults so that they're better equipped to not go down the wrong
100%.
path with children.
Yep.
And
What does that mean? Can we define that?
dude, I don't know, but all I know
Because
is
it's
that
easy to throw these words out there, but like, what does that look like? So what does that mean? Give adults better resources. What does that mean? And I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha moment. I'm being genuine. I'm like, okay,
Parenting workshops.
what the fuck does that mean?
Parenting workshops. Young
Like a
adults.
class?
I'm
Yeah,
not.
like
I'm
a
not
class.
even. I'm talking like on a much higher level than that. I'm talking about like a reevaluation of our economic system, so that
Yeah.
there's less disparity between the haves and the have-nots, so that adults don't have to ignore a homeless person when they are fortunate enough to be in a vehicle and drive by them and ignore it. I mean, this goes back to what do we pay? What is a doctor's salary versus a janitor's salary versus a podcaster's salary? Okay, like literally, like you make choices in life based on your opportunities, and if you're not equipped in a family situation where you have parental guidance that has enough time to help guide you as a child, then you grow up to be an adult that didn't get the guidance that could have been offered in a different situation, and so you're less equipped to make better decisions as an adult.
So here's the question.
And
then
so-
why do some rich kids become losers?
I mean, it's the chicken before the egg, man.
no.
It's
So
about
my question is-
exploitation at the end
So
of
my
the day.
question is, then why do certain rich kids become complete fucking losers?
Drugs,
I don't think so.
Privilege.
privilege.
I don't think it's because of
drugs.
any. I think it's because they're losers.
But is it?
I don't know.
Is it
I
their
know
upbringing?
one of
But I'm just saying, like,
one of them-
I don't think just because you were born to two loser parents in a neighborhood full of losers, you're definitely going to be a loser because
Look,
you don't
there's-
have opportunities. Here's my point: because there's plenty of people I know from rich ass neighborhoods that end up working the same. Well, I would have said $40,000 a year, but now with inflation, let's say $65,000 a year, right? Because 40 is like, damn, you're only making 40 grand, bro. Like, damn, that's fucking rough, dude. For most people, right? Some people, if you're living a life like mine where fucking you bought a house in the hood and you bought that shit cash, you know what I mean? Like, 40 grand a year isn't that bad. You know what I mean? You could actually live a pretty decent life
We
on
can
40
talk
grand.
housing a little bit too.
You could live a decent life on 40 grand if you don't have the same overhead.
I mean, you're talking
but dude, if you're paying a $2,000 a month mortgage and you're only making 40 grand a year, you're
that's
fucked.
almost not.
You're fucked. You're completely
You
fucked.
won't get
You're
that
completely fucked,
mortgage.
dude.
No bank will give you that loan.
Right. That's
You don't
what I'm
have enough
saying.
income to pay for it.
That's what I'm saying. You're completely fucked. And rent. If
you
you
can
want your
barely
own,
afford rent
That's
as
what
a
I'm
single
saying.
person making 40
that's what I'm
grand
saying.
these
So
days.
let's bump it up to like 60, 65, right?
Dude, I moved back
I lost
from
my
New
complete train
Orleans.
of thought. What the fuck were we just talking
no,
about?
No. You're fine.
You're good.
But
But what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
we were talking about how I made the comment about if adults were given better resources to steer children in a different direction.
That's what it was. So I know plenty of people who grew up in legitimately rich families that are like definitely going to end up making, at the end of their lives, they're going to be making $65,000 a year.
Can I be devil's advocate
if this was
real
20
quick,
years
please?
ago, though, if this was 20 years ago and I said they're going to end their life making $65,000 a year, a lot of people in the chat would be like, that's not bad. But now in 2024, when we say that shit, and you're going, wait a minute, 20 years from now, they're still only making $65,000 a year. Now everybody's going, oh yeah, okay.
It's just not that simple, though.
It's not that simple. I'm not pretending it is.
I'm
not pretending it is. I'm just simply asking a question, brother. Like if it's as simple as people not having options or resources, then why do so many rich people, rich kids, end up fucking losers, bro?
Because their parents work so much. They're absentee parents.
So it's the same thing as the people in the ghetto, is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
That's genius. I've never heard anybody say that before.
No one has ever said that to you before?
Holy fuck. So they're so privileged, but they're still as neglected.
The parents are workaholics, and therefore the kids are given anything their heart desires.
I've never heard anybody say that before, but that's exactly what it is.
The parents, the dad, the mom, one of them's a CEO. They travel 20 days out of the month. They're never home. They get raised by a nanny. Not dissimilar to black folk in the South back in the day.
Well, it's not even in the South. It used to be across the fucking street, dude. Like, it used to be across the street from my house. Dude. We're in the hood.
Need presence. And so it doesn't matter how much fucking money you make.
So the kids across the street didn't have
your
dads.
Parents could be the fucking pole lads.
So
but if the pole lads aren't there because they're too busy at work and they're not raising their own children, then those kids are going to be stressed for attention and guidance, and they're going to seek out.
You got kids? You agree with
other
this,
fucking behavior?
Because he doesn't have kids, and neither do I. So we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But that is maybe the most genius thing I've ever. Because I've heard parents talk about this, and nobody has said that.
That's just social
Nobody's
theory.
ever drawn
that's
that.
nothing new, as far as I know.
Did somebody teach you that, or did you arrive at that at your own conclusion? Because I've never heard anybody else ever say that, and I watch a lot of shit on the internet, bro.
I would say it's period. If you're poor and you're a single parent and you don't have time to take care of your kids, that kid is not getting what they need. They're being ignored, not purposefully, but they're fending for themselves in a capacity that a child is not equipped to do so.
In a two-parent household, I think, is the most important, though.
The only difference between a poor family and a rich family that has a deficit of attention given to the children is... And rich families can be divorced, so you could have a one-parent rich family.
The common trait here is the dad's always missing.
Is the
dad's always gone.
Well, there's plenty of CEOs that are women that are gone.
There's not. You can't say that and then also be like, "There's not enough female CEOs."
That's
just not true.
That's not
like,
the exact point. But the point being that
the correlation is in both those
if you work
scenarios,
too much and don't pay attention to your kids money becomes the driving factor.
Press pause. Press pause.
Those kids suffer as a result of that too. And the Band-Aid is
Ian,
you don't have enough time to spend with your kids.
Ian, press pause.
But I make a shitload of money, so I'm going to send you to Vail to go snowboarding. Here's your best present. Here's everything you ever want. And you throw money and gifts at a kid. But kids don't want money and gifts. They want attention and guidance.
Pause. Pause, because I want to set you up for the next rant. My point is the correlation of what you just did.
You're just...
I want to set you up.
Queuing them up.
You're killing it right now. But what I want to do is I want to give you the right cue for the next rant, right? So what I'm saying is the correlation that you just made, that I watch a lot of shit on the internet. I hear a lot of people talk about this. No one has made that correlation before. But the correlation you actually made is not just are the parents absent, but specifically, statistically, it is most likely that whether you're a rich, privileged white kid or you're a poor black kid, if your parent or parents are absent, there's a huge likelihood it's your father that's absent, especially in a divorce, because
statistically speaking,
85% of the time in divorces, the children end up with the mother. The dad gets the kid once every 2 weeks.
Most state laws also are in favor of the mother, so Minnesota in particular, yes.
No one's talking about that. No one's making that correlation.
I have a degree in sociology. I think about this shit.
But I don't even know if you realize what you just said, because again,
do.
it's not just absentee or distracted parents. It's specifically the correlation you just made is
Men?
specifically the absence of a father, whether it's for a daughter who they actually have shown it's maybe more important. Hold on. It's maybe more important for daughters to have a father in the home than it is for sons, believe it or not. There's debates for this, and you could probably look this up on the side while I read what you just did. But here's what Steve put on the screen.
Don't historically princes kill their king fathers anyways?
Current data reveals a more nuanced picture. While mothers are still awarded primary custody more often than fathers, the gap is narrowing finally. Approximately 82% of custodial parents are mothers. I said 85, so I'm pretty close.
Very close.
Yeah.
And it is going down, which is good. But I've also, and see if you can look this up on the side. I read this recently, and it seemed super credible, because I actually like double and triple check things now because I've been duped so many times.
Yeah.
But I could still be wrong, so I just want to see if somebody else can come up with the same data. But it was a study suggesting that it's actually, for the prosperity of single-parent children, it's actually arguably more important that a daughter have a father in the home than it is a son have a father in the home, which seems counterintuitive personally, because I grew up without a father, and I was like, you should have given me to my dad. Like, I'd still be fucked up, but at least I'd be more of a man. Whereas, like, for literally 18 years, I was raised basically as a girl. And it fucked me up, which is probably why I'm so fucking disturbed and such a good musician, because I'm fucking retarded and emotionally scarred permanently. But
I mean, no judgment on this side of the table, man.
I'm just saying, I was raised by a single mom and her mother, my grandmother, her sister, her other sister, and then my two female cousins. All I was raised is around women till I left the home, till I fled the nest at 16, and I was like, oh, there's men. Okay, cool.
Testosterone.
The only time I ever got to interact with boys was at school or in sports.
The
you know
yin
what I
to
mean?
the yang or whatever, yeah.
It was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to that. And single fathers, on average, have higher incomes than single mothers and are far less likely to be living at or below the poverty line. So 24% versus 43%. Holy shit. Single fathers are also somewhat less educated than single mothers, older, and more likely to be white. What the fuck kind of weird ass amendment did they make to those stats?
Can you put that back up for a second? Can you put that back up for a second? Because this speaks to my personal life right now, because of the fact that I am helping to raise an 8-year-old girl who is not my biological daughter. It's my partner and the biological father's, who I have a 50-year restraining order against currently, because he is that type of person.
Yep.
But I will say, of those points, single fathers on average have higher incomes than single mothers. Here's my...
It's because they work harder.
Hang on. Hang on.
Rebuttal for that.
Here's my data.
Wage gap.
Here's my data fact on that, in my experience. Single fathers, on average, have higher incomes than single mothers because of the fact that custody typically goes to the single mother, who cannot work enough to afford daycare. So therefore, the mother probably does not work, which is the exact situation. I support my partner and her daughter. The father barely works, but on paper, even though he's unemployed half the time, and I have a fucking 50-year...
I see what you're saying.
So the point is, those stats are skewed.
Well,
because
she's
of the
not
fact
really a single mother, though.
She's not, but on paper she is, and because of the fact that I make just enough money to pay.
You're making great points,
for
and this
our
is
house.
why I fucking hate stats. That's
I
why I hate
pay for our
statistics.
house, I pay for our mortgage, I pay for our car payment. She stays home and takes care of the kid, because if she had a job that could compensate close to what the male makes, her male counterpart, they would probably make on par about the same amount of money, because the next line, she is actually more educated than he is, which is true. She has college education, he does not.
Right.
And
but
yet
she also can't lay bricks or go on an oil rig.
So it's a very convoluted situation, because the state of Minnesota will award custody to the woman.
Yes.
And then that forces the guy to work, especially if they've been forced to pay child support.
Right, and he might be
So the
making
guy's
two
got
jobs.
no-
He also might
got
work
no
two jobs.
choice. it's such a convoluted situation.
He also might work 2 jobs though too. So
Exactly.
they don't do these
You don't
studies
know.
based on one income.
You don't know. You have
It's your
to
total
take it
gross
And
income.
if-
by a case
This
basis.
motherfucker
If
might
you-
be working 70 hours a week.
He could be.
And they're like, he makes more than
Right.
women. And seriously, that also comes through when they do the wage gap shit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, men make 25% more than women. It's 70 cents on the dollar. It's like, do you have any idea how much more we work than women?
Yeah.
Like, show some fucking respect.
The
Like,
last sentence,
but the data
he
won't
is
show
white,
that.
but he's actually younger than her too. So I'm just saying, like,
So another thing
statistically, yes and no.
about daycare is
Men also
you
typically
may
date
qualify
women
as a
that
single
are
mom.
younger. So that also would
He's younger than her.
right, but men typically date younger women, so that would also lead to single dads
Man,
being
Jared,
older
I
than
don't know
single
where
mothers.
you've
So
been,
the,
but,
the
like,
problem with
I'm
daycare
all
too
about,
is that
You like the Cougars?
the Cougars.
The olds? The
you
olds?
you will
The
get
olds.
I don't even.
Mobiles?
I don't. You
The
can't even say that.
Oldsmobiles?
We have to,
You
we
will
have
get
to call them
daycare.
sophisticated gems.
you will get daycare taken away as a single mom or a single dad if you make too much money. And of course, a single mom will get that money from the dad, right? Alimony, whatever, and that counts. And they will take it away, even if you're going to school and you're working a job. And you need daycare
Well, a
to
lot
go
of
to
that
school
shit
so
will
you can get
change
better.
state to state,
they will
though,
take
man.
it away from you if you make a penny more.
I think
A lot of
I
that-
think at the
a lot of
basis
that
of those
happen- a lot of-
stats is the fact that
Yeah.
you have to factor in daycare, and even in a situation like mine where I'm helping to take care of a child that isn't biologically mine, but I pay for a mortgage that puts a roof over this head where
Right.
where the child spends 75% of their time. I'm paying for things that I don't see compensation for
make
from,
sure that mic
from
is-
the state or from
But-
the
that's right.
father.
There you go.
My partner currently does not collect child support. He doesn't pay for shit, and constantly threatens her that I'm going to take custody away from you. Meanwhile,
Weird.
he lives in a house that's full of dog piss and shit and is unfit for a human being. Yet he continues, and I don't need to air my own personal laundry. I'm just saying, he gets a job because
understand
the
what you mean.
state basically says you as the biological father have to provide health insurance for your child. That is the one almost mandated thing that the state of Minnesota looks at.
Yeah.
Like, the state will provide child health care for
Yeah.
a child if the father cannot provide it.
They will.
But once the father becomes employed, at a bare minimum, they become responsible for health care.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fair.
It is
Because what's the old joke? Anybody can be a dad, but it takes somebody
I don't know.
responsible
I got
to
a
be
better
a father or
I
whatever.
got a
the
better
fuck
joke.
the
They
word,
say it takes a village to raise a child, but what if the
You're right.
village is retarded?
Hey, I'm right here walking proof.
Jared,
I'm
we can't say
taking,
the R word anymore.
I'll say whatever the
I'm
fuck
taking
I
care
want.
of a daughter and her child and the father of that child. They're all living in my place.
Are any of them retarded?
Yeah. Well,
It's called-
I can't say anything.
It's called DS.
I'll get my.
It's
Hey,
called
just go.
DS, Jared.
No.
I have a third cousin with DS.
No. I'm not talking about people who are mentally handicapped. I'm taking this word back. That is not what retarded means. I don't know how this word got perverted.
I
What
know.
retarded means is slowing or preventing progress.
So is the next
So
topic?
if I
are
say
we
you're
going to
fucking-
start talking about pronouns next?
if I say your
Fuck.
idea, if I go, that's retarded.
Oh,
That has nothing to do with anybody's mental capacity. That means that idea slows or prevents progress. If I say you are being retarded or you are retarded, that has nothing to do with autism or Down syndrome or any weird fucking quirk your cousin
get it.
has.
but the word.
It is
police don't
literally
care.
meaning you are preventing or slowing down progress.
Exactly.
I
You're getting
agree
in the
with you
way.
100%.
That's what
the
it
only thing I'm
actually
gonna
means.
say, the only thing I'm gonna say to refute that is if somebody came up with some fucking word that was offensive to you personally, and you said, "Hey, that's not cool," wouldn't your opinion matter?
No, no, because I don't.
Why not?
Because if I suddenly decided the word eccentric is offensive and people
Right.
call me eccentric all the time, that's a personal problem deep from within.
True.
That is like no. The world doesn't suddenly have to fucking like stop using the word eccentric because fucking my retarded ass thinks it's a fucking bad word
But
to say.
isn't it-
No, because that's
But
preventing
everybody
progress.
agrees on the definition of eccentric not being offensive necessarily.
But somebody made retarded offensive. It
Right, that's
became
what my point
offensive.
is.
They used
Just like
it
they made the word dope
as a derogatory term.
mean drugs, just like they made the word dope mean cool.
Yeah.
I'll
Like
shut
these
up.
are arbitrary sounds we make. This is an old Joe Rogan take, but he's right. These are arbitrary sounds that we make with our mouth, and the reality is, you know my fucking intention.
Right.
You know what I actually meant in the way I said
But
it.
somebody
But then you
used it.
chose to be like, it's
Yeah.
inappropriate
Can
for
I-
you to use
can
that
I
sound
inter-
with your
Somebody
mouth.
used
I'm
because-
gonna interject
because
one more
my
time then.
cousin is retarded.
I'm gonna
And it's
interject
like,
one more
okay,
time.
Well, what the fuck, dude?
Jared,
Like,
you said something very poignant. The sound of a word, right?
it's just sounds we make with our mouth, dude.
Exactly.
And
So,
it's the intent that matters.
because this is a music show,
That's the real point.
and that's why I'm here,
You want to make sounds with our mouths?
and we started this conversation.
You want to make sounds with our mouths?
Mouth harm.
Yes, and or with my hands or my feet or whatever, but
What about my
my
penis?
ears. My only point here is that okay, so this is a
I'm
show
12.
show about music and
It's not a-
politics.
it's not a show
and
about music,
It's
but-
just, it's a show.
I'm a musician,
It's
so
a
it's my
show.
default gear.
Well, I'm here because I'm a musician.
I
and
love you, dude.
Well, let's
You're
hear
a
about
musician, and that's how we bonded originally,
That is true.
which is very cool. And man, I walked in and I didn't even get your name yet.
This is Murph.
Murph.
You've never met Murph.
I have
Never
not met
met
Murph.
So Murph is an old
Hang on.
Murph's an old boomer from the scene. Look at this old piece of shit
Yeah,
back there. No,
I'm older than old.
no. Murph
Make
and I
old
met
look
because
old.
Murph bailed me out last minute the night of when Brett Yeager had to move back to
Brett
St.
Yeager.
Louis.
Why do I know Brett Yeager?
He used to be the really good videographer in town. He used to shoot music videos
Oh, yeah.
for the
Yes.
bands at Area
Yes,
52.
yes,
yeah, you
yes,
remember?
yes. I think
Lots
he
of
did
good
some Ginger
videos.
Jake shit
Yeah,
back
he
in
did.
the day.
Definitely did. So he was
Yeah.
going to shoot the Tyrants music video, and
Okay.
the night of the music video, a legit family emergency happened, and he had to move to St. Louis that
That
night.
night?
Yep. He was a sponsor on the show. Like it was on the
Wow.
flyer. He was shooting our music video. These guys had been farting around with a bunch of shitty metal bands around town.
Me and Rod.
There's no shitty metal bands in Minneapolis. What are you talking about,
dude?
man?
All their videos sounded like shit,
Oh, yeah.
but I was like, but they were really good at grabbing angles,
We
right?
had
So I could see,
7
see they
cameras.
knew what they were doing, but they were also doing shit on the fly for cheap for guys. So I hit them up over the phone
Cheap
the
was
night
free.
of, then right, free basically. So. But I hit him up the night of, and I was like, here's what I want you to do. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I can't do anything for you, but I promise the next 5 shows, I will put you as the guys on the flyer. Because that's how I do things. I advertise. We build a family. Everybody makes money together. So it worked. They shot a great music video.
It
We
was
built a great
fun.
relationship because they were able to work with better bands than they had worked with before because
yeah.
of the advertising. And that's what I do, right? Like it's all about. I usually, when I make deals with people, 9 times out of 10, it's a 55-45 split to your favor because I want you to always feel like you got the better deal. So you always want to work with me again. That's how I try to do things. It doesn't always work. Sometimes we both get fucked. But I'm never going to get the better end of the deal. I just don't operate like that because I believe in building relationships.
Stand-up
And
guy.
for the most part, that has worked.
Yeah.
There's a few people who just are so paranoid. They're like, "No, you fucked me," and I'm like, "Okay, dude." Like,
I used to be that guy.
and I don't even try to rationalize
was
with
like,
those people anymore because
Wasn't
it's
the
like,
first
dude, I
time that
lost
you
money.
asked me on the
Like,
show,
it-
Jared? I was like, so what's up with the royalty split shit? Kidding.
But that's how I got to know Murph. Murph has
Yeah.
been in the scene for a long time. He shot. You were at the Buried by Hope tribute
Yeah.
show.
Buried by
when
Hope.
Bobo died.
We're at we recorded the 4th of July. Or
Right.
no, not 4th of July. New Year's Eve party.
Murph,
at that
are
one
you
place.
a player too?
I do play.
Okay.
I dabble. I played in 3 bands. Not
Little
here, when I was
bass,
young.
right? Little bass?
Guitar.
Oh, I thought it was bass.
Primary guitar. I've played bass. I
guys keep talking,
dabble
I gotta
in
piss.
drums. I'm nowhere near Jared's level, of course. But yeah, I just fuck
Well,
around.
fellow-
And I was a
But
sound
I'm
guy.
only like a 2.5. So
Yeah, I'm like a 1.
Don't,
I
don't
started
talk
on
about
like
me
a
like I'm
0.5.
I
good.
started on the
I'm
skit.
dope, but I'm not
So-
very good.
While you take a piss, Jared, because we're talking about penises now, in a very PC manner. Guitar playing. I started playing piano when I was 7.
Oh wow.
But prior to piano, I cut my teeth on what is better known as either the skin flute or rock and roll penis.
Oh yeah.
Me and my little brother taking showers together at 8, 9,
Yep.
4, 5, whatever it was. We're a 4.5-year-old spread. My mother would routinely catch us in the shower together, bathing or shower, and the natural, I guess, phallic thing would be to motion. Like, we grew up in punk rock. My parents had Beatles records. I grew up listening to Devo, the Sex Pistols. So by 4 years old, I'm putting vinyl. You know, I'm born in 1976. This is like the middle of my dad being into his British punk rock invasion. And, you know, so all those records are in the house, and I fall in love with Devo. Next thing you know, my brother's 3, I'm 5.5, and we're playing Rock and Roll Penis in the bathtub. Okay, so that's the natural progression. What I'm getting at is let's not be ashamed of our anatomy. And I think there's this... What I'm getting at, I'm leading up to something actually pretty poignant here, to Jared's comment about sounds that we make in terms of words that are offensive. Maybe it's a stretch, but there is this fantastic book by a medical doctor. Forget his name. We could probably look it up since we have that.
Since we have a producer.
Gosh darn thing called the internet. But is a book called "This Is Your Brain on Music." Everybody's heard that stupid
on
book
drugs,
called "This Is Your Brain on Drugs." Fuck that person.
Is that what that was a book?
It's
I didn't know that.
Or a bad PR campaign
This
by
Is Your Brain on Music.
George W. Bush. I don't know. Or Reagan.
By Daniel Levitin.
Yep, Daniel Levitin. So he's
is this when they talk about like
is a bona
people that
fide,
get
he's a medical
goosebumps and
doctor,
shit?
right?
Yeah.
So to your point, and this is a music show.
It's not a music show, but
you lied to me again.
We should make a compilation of every time I go. This is not a music
You
show.
lied. You're a liar.
It's
No,
not
I'm
a
just
music
kidding.
show.
I love you.
It's a music show. It's not a music show.
So Daniel Levitin wrote a book called "This Is Your Brain on Music," and it is so fascinating from the standpoint that it goes into why music is music, why humans are so fascinated with music, why we have no choice but to be fascinated by music, because it is a part of our actual like breeding and mating rituals on a subconscious level. And so therefore he makes the argument on a biological level that
Do you keep switching that to the main cam?
the ability of a human
I keep trying to force it over
to
him.
sing, the ability of a human to sing, and the interpretation of the quality of the singing by another human being is a huge factor in the mating selection of partners within humans. And you can trace that throughout all kinds of mammals.
Wait, what
so
the fuck
sound
did you
and
just end that
speech.
with? I quit paying
That you
attention
can
for the last 10
trace that
seconds.
same train of logic from humans down through less sophisticated, smaller brain species such as birds.
And
It evolved obviously out of any sort of organism that could vocalize a sound. Okay, and sound becomes part of our nature that attracts us to
That's
one
exactly right. All animals use some kind of vocalization.
some sort of vocalization.
And chimpanzee, everything.
Some of it is
They
purely to
make
communicate,
noise.
but some of it is to communicate on a more sophisticated
To
level, which
say,
is about mating.
Come and get me.
rituals.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's have sex.
well, I've always had this theory.
That's why
So
we
It's a
idolize-
brilliant book, and everybody should fucking read
That's
it.
why with a band, we always idolize the singer first because they're the one up front making all the noise.
Exactly. Or
so-
you stop going to the show because they fucking suck.
okay, so hear me out. I've always had this theory that like all animals do some sort of mating ritual, whether it's they sing some sort of song, right, or they try to have a beautiful coat, right, and that they can display like a peacock or something, right, or like some fish they try to build
So
they try to build a better nest. Right,
I'm going to bring this into politics
Some
real
guys,
quick.
some guys do a dance. Right, some birds or some animals do a dance. Sometimes it's about building the best, shell hut, like a beaver. Right, it's who has the best dam,
Can you create
whatever.
a home?
But and then other animals, it's about who has the like strongest scent. Right. So what I think is interesting is human beings seem to be the only animal on the planet that does all of those things.
There
but
is
we
an
pick and
element of
choose.
Darwinism to it all, survival of the fittest, but it's
listen,
more nuanced than that.
But listen, humans seem to do all of those things to different levels of perceived value. So some guys go for the big house, which is the big nest, right?
Well, you can survive in this world with different
some guys
accoutrements,
go for,
right?
Some guys go for like
you
dressing
could be
up
flashy,
nice,
or you could sit behind the scenes and you could have just as comfortable of a life.
Right, this is what I'm getting
sitting
at.
behind
but
the scenes
humans
than
are
you
the
could
only,
flaunting your shit.
But that's what I'm
flaunting
saying.
your feathers.
That's what I'm saying.
Pun intended.
Humans are the only ones that do all of these things,
Right.
to differing degrees depending on who
We
it is.
have very big brains.
But all dolphins do the same mating ritual. All
And we know very little about the ocean.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
But like all of this bird, they all do the same dance.
We know
all
less
of
about
this chimp
we
does
know
the
less
same
about
thing.
deep sea than we do about the space of space between the moon and us.
That is true. That is true. But
We
I'm
know
trying to
less
stay
about-
on this. I'm trying to stay on this mating ritual train because the point I'm
Read the
trying to
book.
make is like
I can't do it justice.
I think it's interesting though because humans are the only ones who do all of the things. Dude, we wear cologne to try to have a better scent.
I never have. I had a
I
high
do.
school
I love
girlfriend
cologne.
that gave me Drakkar, and I was like, I'm never gonna wear
I
this
fucking
shit.
love cologne.
Take
dude.
it back to Pennies, yo.
I can't stand smelling the same way
Who
every day
remembers
either.
Pennies? J.C.
What the
Penney's.
fuck are we switching to
remembers
talking about
JCPenney's and
retail? No,
Sears?
we're not talking about old retail.
Well, that's
Fuck
where I
that.
got Drakkar.
No, fuck that.
Or somebody bought Drakkar.
You
for
wanted
me.
to take my mating ritual thing and you wanted to go back into politics.
Now I have to piss because you guys both just did. And I'm
So
just
I'm gonna
like,
finish my rant then, motherfucker. Fine, go piss. So here's my point, dude. Is like whether it's the bird who tries to have the beautiful coat, or the fucking shellfish who tries to build the beautiful nest, right? Or it's the fucking
conquer and divide, growth and expansion.
or it's the animal who tries to be the biggest, the strongest alpha. Like humans do all
it
this
is
shit
just
to
the
different
nature
degrees.
of survival.
Go piss, motherfucker.
I'm just saying.
Go piss. So, because I'm trying to fill time here while you go piss. So don't step on my rant, because I'm trying to rant less, and I'll use it while you guys go piss. So the point is like we're the only ones that do all of these things, and some guys get they dress really nice. That's their fancy coat, like a bird, right? Or like some of these other animals. Some of these motherfuckers, like I love to smell good, right? Partially because I don't like things that stink, including myself. Some guys have a big house, property. That's their flex. Like that's seriously, there's certain guys out in the country that smell like literal shit because they're fucking farming and they have manure, right? And they drive an old beat up pickup truck,
Yep.
right? But women are more attracted to them because they have 150 acres. You know what I mean? Like that's a mating ritual.
Yep.
That's something for like country folk. Like that's at least in Minnesota. Like how much land do you own is a thing. What do you smell shit? You look like you're sniffing around. What do you want? The lighter?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll just ask for the lighter, dude.
I'm grabbing the one that's plugged in. Probably the most in tune.
What are you doing?
He's gonna play guitar. This is a music show.
Oh my god, it's not a fucking music show. Jesus Christ. Are you grabbing your guitar, Ian?
He is.
I mean, that's fine, but it's probably in drop C. It's probably fairly in tune.
Know how to play in that tuning, so
Just think of it like drop D. It's drop D. It's drop D, dude.
I'm joking.
Oh, you're joking. I couldn't tell.
By the way, thank you.
What do you think of that guitar?
Well,
by the
I
way?
owe you one because I haven't
What do you think of that
I-
guitar?
It's a kick-ass
I've only
guitar.
touched its butt so far.
What do you think of it though? Like just the look of it.
Let me stroke it a little bit.
What do you think of the look of the guitar? It's Koa. That's a Koa top. That's a real Koa top, by the way.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, it's an Epiphone. Yes, it's an Epiphone. Let's get this out
I
of the way
owned an
now.
Epiphone.
Is it chambered?
Hold on. It is
could
not
be-
chambered.
It is not chambered. Okay?
It's not chambered. Yes, it's an Epiphone, but it is a custom, like a Les Paul custom, right? Which doesn't mean it's a custom shop or anything.
I had an SG.
But it does have a cert, dude. Here's
I had
the
an
point.
Epiphone
It's
SG
the
custom
only
like this.
Epiphone- It's
They're
the
sick.
it's the only Epiphone
I
that's going to
used
come
it
with
on
a
a,
cert.
on a
dude.
Future Leaders recording on
It's
a solo.
actually a really legit guitar.
I literally bought this Epiphone custom SG from Guitar Center in Seattle when I was recording with Future Leaders. Bought it specifically for one fucking guitar solo.
I just like how it looks, dude.
put it on my credit card and then returned it.
I'm probably going to switch out those pickups. I'm going to probably go super cliche. I knew that motherfucker.
There was a
upside
guy in
down.
Minnesota making custom guitars, and he would carve the guitars, and they were $5,000, $7,000 guitars.
There's
They were
a bunch of guys like that,
unbelievable.
man. There's a bunch of guys like that, which is
Yeah.
all fine and good until you need a warranty.
Yeah.
And then these motherfuckers are like, I stopped doing that like 10 years ago. Like, you got to be real careful about going with custom made guitars.
You
man.
remember this guy? I remember this guy.
What the fuck are we talking about?
You remember him?
Who the fuck is
Wear
that?
the beanie.
Who the fuck is that?
He did a lot of the.
I see he's wearing leather
Is that-
pants.
Yeah.
All I can imagine is how bad his balls.
Is that Eric Rotter?
Let's see. I don't. Phil.
I was
It was
joking.
Phil.
Phil Vogler? I don't know
Yeah.
who that is,
Vogler?
dude.
Is this
He did a lot of the
American Gothic.
American
oh,
Gothic. He was fucking
American
killer.
Gothic. This was
Yeah.
Chad
North
Hanks's.
Carolina?
No, this
Okay.
was Chad Hanks's band.
Yeah.
Post head
Oh.
charge.
Post head charge or pre head charge?
Post head charge.
Yep.
Interesting.
So Chad Hanks tried to do his own thing after head charge
God
was
rest, I guess.
after head charge was Kitty Wampus.
Did I ever tell you that my original 19?
I think I'm officially double fisting.
I think it was 1994 was the inception
We got anything in
of
chat, Murph?
Mind Rape.
Nothing yet.
We
I
were.
said
This is
subscribe
back
if
in the
you
day
wanna chat.
when what is now a bakery, I believe, in Seward. This was the end all be all metal venue in the Twin Cities in Seward. It was right across from Memory Lanes. It's now a bakery. God damn it! Help me out. What was the name of this place?
I don't fucking
Am I
remember,
that
dude.
old?
I don't fucking remember.
But
this
it was
random
Don
bakery
Decker.
You're talking about, bro?
Don Decker from the band Anal Blast.
I remember Don Decker.
He ran the venue, and everybody from Brutal Truth to Cannibal Corpse to whomever came through this venue.
Murph, give me that lighter back, buddy.
And
Oh, thanks.
where am I going with this?
I don't know. You're bringing up a bakery and Don Decker. I have no idea where you're going with this.
Was it the Mirage? I think it was called the Mirage. And most recently, like Greg Moog and there was a band called Cromlech that played there very
I remember
often.
Cromlech, yeah.
And the Mirage was kind of Don Decker's mainstay venue.
The
And
Mirage.
I remember standing next to the Pac-Man machine in there, next to the drummer from Death, which was prolific drummer, man. Fuck, what was his name? I'm an idiot, but I would say, like, what I loved
What are
about
you doing with this guitar?
what I loved about the metal scene in Minneapolis back in the day was, like, even though we were all assholes, like, everybody was just cool to each other. And
I mean, at the end of the day,
but there were multiple venues though. Like, but at the end of the day, Minneapolis has always been, and this is my biggest beef with this town, is that Minneapolis has always been a goddamn indie rock town. And
yeah, that's kinda
dude, I
true.
played in one of the fucking most technically savvy fucking grindcore bands, Mind Rape. Well, we played the
It
the
officially
punk rock
happened, guys.
fans. Like, the reason I know, like, back to our very first conversation tonight about shit we don't want to talk about, but what's his butt from Calvin Crime and that band was a punk rock band that, like, my thrash metal band, we sold out college house parties at, better shows than I've ever played at First Avenue or 7th Street Entry or the Ryan's or whatever existed in the past. Like, it was all about underground shit, because I don't think the Twin Cities has ever and I'm coming full circle right now because I want to have Steve's back. I want to know that things will be corrected as they should be. If he's guilty, then great. If he's not guilty, then fucking great. But, like, let's not talk about shit that you can't back up, right? So
No hearsay.
no hearsay, right? Because the one thing, as a music show, Jared, fuck you, is that this fucking town has always been about, and all credit due because they're talented motherfuckers, but this town has been about the Husker Do's and the Replacements. And so, Head Charge, here's my point. The Mirage was this club. All the guys from Head Charge, except for Dave and the original drummer, those guys were Minnesotans. Those guys all met in fucking rehab at Hazleton, okay? fucking Cameron's from California, Cameron's from the East Coast, Chad's from L.A., was from L.A., God rest. But long story short, these motherfuckers met in rehab, okay? Their first fucking show, they called themselves Flux. And Mind Rape was hanging out at the Mirage all the fucking time. And
Steve, I need that paper towels.
Don Decker, who's also an asshole, but dead now, so God rest his soul, gave Mind Rape a show with like Cannibal Corpse with Flux. The first incarnation, the very first lineup of American Head Charge, their very first show ever. I remember Dave walking in with his triple rectifier Mesa Boogie amp, just prouder than shit. And they're all sober and they're all fresh out of rehab. And
What is that? Something's playing in the background.
What? Shit. That's me.
all good. But long story short, like I've known the Head Charge guys since they were Head Charge, and I've been friends with them ever since. I've lost touch, but let's give Steve a little fucking collective clap over there at the White Rock, because all things said, like, that dude has filled a void venue-wise for a genre of music that deserves to get heard that Minneapolis hasn't historically been very receptive to. And so, me personally, being a fucking metalhead, regardless of what I've done in the bands that I've played in, I learned how to play guitar because I learned how to play the fucking 4 Metal Giants songs, and I bought every fucking book and learned all that shit. I'm a fucking metal guitar player. I love hip-hop. I love classical. I love everything. But I learned how to play guitar playing fucking metal.
Yeah.
And Minneapolis, I don't feel, has ever respected that place. So we, as hard rock or metal musicians, have fought an uphill battle to have some presence in this fucking town, and we fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
And so, sorry, I don't. It's probably the vodka getting to me.
Nah,
but
it's
like,
okay.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No disrespect to Husker Du. I had a job working at the door at the Turf Club because I went to Hamlin. I got lucky and got to go to college and shit. But I had a job working. I was the door guy in the mid '90s to the early 2000s at the Turf Club before First Avenue bought them.
Yep.
Before they were fucking cool.
For First
The
Avenue
stage
bought
was
everything.
on the other side of the
Yeah.
room, and they were fucking playing dime fucking
Yep.
country bands, right? And the St. Paul Music Club stepped up, fucking organized that place, and it took off. And they accepted all walks and styles of music, okay? And they would play metal, they would play indie. I actually made the mistake of my first or second day on the job. I carted Grant Hart from the Husker Du, the drummer from Husker Du. Didn't know who he was. I'm like 21 or some shit. Never met him. Kind of know who Husker Du is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I card him. He walks up to the door. He's just coming in to drink one day. Well, like Tuesday afternoon or some shit. I card Grant Hart. And Rob Rule, the sound guy at Turf Club, comes up, taps me on the shoulder, and goes, "Ian, I know you don't know, but that was Grant Hart from the Replacements, and he just gets in for free. He's on the Mile High Club or whatever. You know what I mean?" I'm like, duly noted. Won't happen again. But my point being is, like, I remember when Mind Rape played 7th Street Entry for the first time. We did the new band night. You get paid like $30 or some shit, no matter how many people come there, and we fucking killed it. And this dude Wolf, who used to work there, came up to us afterwards. Was like, "You're the 6th fucking metal band in town right now. Holy fuck, where are you guys from?" But we still had no luck getting booked at any fucking venue in town. And so we played college parties and basement parties.
Yep.
And that's how I met homeboy from Calvin Crime, and who's been accused of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, this is a very tight-knit community, and we should really concentrate more on loving each other than we should.
What venue does Steve
I don't know,
own?
man. Steve Williams is the White Rock.
The White Rock?
Lounge in
The
St.
White
Paul.
Rock Lounge
Yeah,
in St. Paul. And I've heard nothing but good things about that place. So,
Well, you know, like I said, I think there is no. Jared, you're metal. That's how I met you, right? We were playing.
I was in a metal band, yes.
Yes, and so were many of our friends and many of the people that come on this show, and we don't discriminate, and everybody's welcome. But yet at the same time, like, I don't know. It's like let's be kind to each other in general. That's my only thing I'm gonna say, and then I'll shut up.
Yeah, until you're saying some dumb shit, and then I'm calling you out for it.
Fine.
I'm just saying.
That's fine.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna.
I haven't
here
said
and,
any
like,
dumb shit yet, Jared.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the proverbial you, which I'm just trying to justify my existence, if I'm being honest. Because, man, I be talking a lot of shit online, dude. But that's because y'all be saying some wild shit online, man. Like, there's so many people that say some wild shit online, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not. Everybody, not everybody. There's a few people who, like, Jared likes to stir the pot. I'm like, no, I don't. But I also don't shy away from confrontation. Because when you guys say some wild fucking shit, like, I will be that motherfucker. I do not care about being popular.
Speak your mind.
I don't care about being perceived as cool or hip or fucking, like, you know, on the righteous side of things. Because I have my own moral principles that I work from. Like, I decide what's right and wrong to me, and it doesn't matter who did it. If I don't like you and you did some shit, but it still doesn't violate my ethical code, I'm like, well, then you're good, man. Mm-hmm. You know, like, right. I don't like you, but you didn't do anything wrong in my eyes, or vice versa. Here's the thing. You might be my homie, but if you did something wrong, I will be the guy who's like, no, dude, you fucked up, bro. Mm-hmm. And I know what that sounds like, dude, but at the same time, no one else really does that. It's just like, if you're my friend, I got your back. And then, like, if I don't like you, I'm taking you down. That's basically the mentality. And there's a huge difference between those things. And I know how uneducated I sound, but I'm also not trying to get on my fucking high horse and fucking pontificate about the moral virtues and differences between decision making. I'm just saying, man, like, a lot of motherfuckers in this scene, specifically this town, a lot of our friends, a lot of you guys, seriously, you need to recalibrate your moral compass, because the fucking team you're on, and this applies to both sides. The team you're on, man, is not fucking right most of the time. Most of the time, you're wrong. Most of the time, your team is wrong.
We're all sitting around here right now talking about how right we are, and
no, most of the time
we
you
need
guys
to
are
admit
wrong.
a little bit that we could also be wrong.
This is the crazy thing that no one is willing to accept, because it mathematically doesn't actually make any sense, but it's true. And everybody who's unbiased will be like, this motherfucker's spitting facts. Here's the thing. 75% of the time, your political party is wrong. Even when it seems like there's only a 50-50 chance of that happening, because there's only two parties and there's only two sides to each issue. I'm telling you, there's still a 75% probability rate. Your party is wrong on this issue, which means if you're a smart person and you really understood what I just said, is oftentimes both parties are wrong on the same issue at the same time. Like, rarely is anybody actually right.
Can I tell you guys something?
That's the fucking point. I hope you guys really understood that before I had to say that, because if you didn't, then...
Okay, so for the audience, whoever's listening right now, I guarantee you that the three people in this room right now do not share political or religious ideologies to a T, okay?
But we can all admit
we can probably
Kamala
find some
Harris
things
is a
that
nut job.
Okay, whatever.
For
but
sure.
at the same, exactly. Case in point. My point.
You might vote for her.
Whatever.
You
My
liberal
point
son
is,
of a bitch.
fuck off everybody. My point is like, maybe I'm gonna vote for Trump. You don't fucking know, so shut the fuck up.
That's right.
But the point is,
I already
we
admitted
have
I'm
our
voting for them
differences
motherfuckers.
and we have our commonalities.
Yeah.
Do you know how you unite the fucking American populace? Here's how. You start with a candidate who describes the fact that the middle class has more in common based on the fact that you make under a certain amount of money, you pay a certain amount of fucking taxes. Okay?
Okay.
And so
I'm
at the end of the
you.
fucking day, we have more. You take away politics, you take away religion, you take away what is your thoughts on abortion, you take away all of those divisive things that the parties set up for us. Divisive. Schmagnums.
I got to get more mic stands.
Awesome
this one's
pepper
much better.
My point is that if we were to unite simultaneously across racial, religious, and otherwise borders.
Don't throw a bunch of virtue signaling word salad here.
No,
Make a
we
real
would just
point.
realize that we're all taxed approximately the same, and so the shit that we argue about internally is not really the fucking point. It's about the fucking billionaires who fucking keep running the roughshod over us.
Can I be honest with you? Here's my
There's
opinion on
Democrats.
this.
No, I'm not done. Because hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
Here's the case in point. While the Democrats were trying to fucking impeach Trump, y'all remember this?
Well, people need to understand. You're
No,
a
hang
super
on.
Democrat.
Hang the fuck on.
You're a super Democrat.
Am I?
Well, you said last time we hung
I think
out.
I'm pretty undefinable.
Well, last time we talked.
I think
last
push
time
comes to shove, I'm going to vote for Kamala versus Trump. I'll be honest about that.
I'm trying to give you more credibility,
But
so
hear me
I'm not
out.
trying to fuck with you.
I'm not a
I'm
fucking
trying to give you more.
Democrat.
I'm trying to give you more
I'm
credibility.
practically a fucking communist. You can hate me even more. But listen to me.
That means you're a Democrat.
Fuck off. But anyways, listen to me. My point is, you had me to your show. Let me fucking talk. The point is,
I'm basically a
we have
communist,
more
he
in
said.
common, whether you're a fucking libertarian, a fucking Republican, or a fucking Democrat. We have more in common economically than we do across any other unifying demographic factor. Okay, and I say this because I'm a fucking city planner.
But
I
communists,
look at
libertarians, and
statistics all
Republicans, two of
fucking
them are significantly better at kicking the shit out of
I
people.
don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is that
Never
I've
mind.
played in bands, very successful bands, that did not pay attention to our minuscule fucking do we appreciate abortion or not? Are we Democrat or Republican or not? No. We were in a band together because we made fucking good music together.
Right.
That's legit, dude.
And I will say, back to the point of Minneapolis being a
I
fucking
think that's
indie
why I
rock
have
town,
so many friends
even
like
though
you.
I fucking hate the indie rock of Minneapolis, not the indie rock per se, but the attitude of the people that have come with it and their unwillingness to act very open and then be very fucking prima donna bullshit. Here's the point. We are united on a fucking economic front because I don't know very many fucking people personally that I can call right now that make over $1 million a year, okay?
Right.
And so therefore, regardless of who the fuck you want to vote for, who the fuck you want to fucking think is king shit, is irrelevant because of this very single fact that I'm going to say right now, is that when Trump was trying to be impeached by the Democrats, it was all over the fucking media. That's the only thing that was being advertised. However, simultaneously in that same span of 7 to 10 days that was the onslaught of media frenzy on Trump's impeachment, do you know what happened? The Democrats and the Republicans unanimously voted for the largest military spending bill in the known documented history's time. Not just for the United States, but in the history of time. So while everyone's distracted, wondering if fucking Trump is going to get impeached, and the Democrats are leading that charge, and Jared, I'm a fucking Democrat.
Well, you did last time
The
say...
point is that
last
the
time we
Democrats
hung out, you were like,
Yeah.
I'm a
were right
bleeding
there
heart
with the
liberal. You
Republicans,
literally
yeah.
said that.
voting simultaneously to vote in the largest military spending bill in the history of the
Didn't I
world.
rant about that before he
And it
showed up?
takes
Didn't I rant about that?
Classic
And it takes
misdirection.
for what,
Hold on.
for
Hold on.
what the
Ian,
United
pause.
States spends on our military
Pause.
spending
Pause. Ian.
takes China and the next 12 countries on the
Hold on.
planet to
Ian.
match the amount of
Ian.
money that we spend on our military.
Ian, press pause. Hold
So
on.
what
Ian,
the fuck are we doing?
Ian, press pause.
Are we trying to love or are we trying to blow shit up?
Did I rant about that when it was
You
just you and
did,
I, or
yeah.
were we actually live streaming when I said that exact same thing?
I don't remember.
That the Democrats are like super pro-war now.
no,
I think we were
They
live.
never have
we
been.
were live.
Well, they used to.
Obama
here's
was,
the thing. They duped
Obama.
me. I know.
Obama was fucking authorizing fucking drone strikes all
But
over
here's
the
thing,
fucking
dude.
place, dude. He
But
didn't
here's
give
the
a
thing.
fuck.
They duped me into thinking they were the anti-war party because when
They're not.
when I grew
Never
up,
have been.
when I grew up and I wasn't cool with what was happening post 9/11. I
So
voted,
if that's a hang up for y'all Republicans out there, like get off it, because
Yeah.
Democrats are just as bad as fucking the
Follow
in terms of the military-industrial complex.
Well, we all
everybody,
know this
follow
now.
the money.
Anybody with a brain knows this now. Like, the Democrats are not peace-loving. The Democrats fucking declare and spend way more money on fucking murdering people than anybody. It's ridiculous.
And also, I just want to say, people need to get over the fact that like there's some sort of something wrong with on a rudimentary paper level. There's nothing wrong with socialism because our fire departments or
What the
police
fuck
departments
did you just say?
our emergency services.
The fuck did you just say out loud?
A lot of our medical
There's
industry,
nothing wrong with socialism?
not on a paper surface level.
I'll hear you out, but I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly.
Well,
you said there's nothing wrong
I
with
will-
socialism?
I will
Did I
answer
hear
a
that
question
correctly?
with a question. What?
Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You did hear that correctly.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask the question.
No, I'll let you go ahead. I
Our-
just wanted to make sure I
Our
didn't fuck this whole
taxes
thing
pay
up.
for roads and our emergency services and our
Yeah.
police department, our fire
Yeah.
department, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Is that not? And I would say that socialism is the inappropriate
Hold on.
term.
Make sure you keep
It is a
stay on that mic. That mic is
democratically
pointing away from you,
social.
bro.
It is a democratically,
Bro.
socially taxed, funded,
Go low up. There you go.
socially tax funded social good. So the fact that we have a fire department, a police
Yep.
department, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. I think
Dope.
the worst thing that ever happened to Minneapolis per se after George Floyd was let's get rid of the police department. I bought
ahead.
my first house in North Minneapolis. I hear
Yeah.
gunshots every night. I try to go out every day. I say hi to everyone. I make friends with everyone. I like North Minneapolis. It reminds me of living in New Orleans. I wanted to buy a house there. Jared, we're sitting in your house in North Minneapolis.
Correct. Yeah.
So that whole shtick is fictitious.
It's not
Like,
fictitious.
Well, but it's a misnomer.
can't say it's
it's a
fictitious.
misnomer to say that socialism is bad, per se. That there are things that we collectively agree upon on a public standpoint that are publicly financed
Okay.
in Minnesota, such as education, fire departments, police
Here's
departments,
the
et cetera, et
difference.
cetera.
Here's the difference.
Roads.
The only
Roads.
thing. Hold
Streets.
on.
Did I
Hold
not
on.
say that? I meant to say
Hold
that.
I
on.
think you did.
Hold on. The only thing we have to pull out of this, just for the sake of I think the word is brevity. Will you look up the word brevity?
Brevity just means like clarity, like succinctness.
Yeah. Okay. For the sake of brevity, let's just for the moment pull out the fire department. Okay.
Okay.
Everything else can stay on the table. Okay.
Okay.
I believe what made America great in the first place is always been a balance of all of these ideologies. So, for example, yes, you have public school. That would technically be a socialist thing, right? Nobody owns, hear me out. Nobody owns the public school. Okay, so nobody owns that means to production.
Well, the public owns it.
Nobody
We own it.
Nobody owns
'Cause
it.
we
It's,
pay
it's
for it.
not privatized,
Correct.
nor does the government own it. Okay? So
The
it
people
fits,
is the government, so
it
we own
fits
it.
the definition of socialism. Because really, if you want to get down to the real brass tacks of the definition of socialism, it really boils down to who owns the means of production. So when you really look,
Correct.
also feel free to look this up and get ready to cue this up, Steve. So here's my point. We have public school. That would technically be a socialist version of it, right? Okay.
versus
when-
private school.
But when we talk about socialism,
De La Salle versus Minneapolis North.
the difference is people fail to ever recognize we're transcending a political system with an economic system. Okay. So in the West, there are two different deals. We have democracy that runs our political system, and we have free market capitalism. At least we used to. Now we have crony capitalism,
Right.
but that's a different deal.
Right.
That's a different argument. Let's keep it simple for brevity, right? So you have, by the way, is that the correct definition of
It is.
brevity?
It is.
Did you look that up for
I
me?
did.
We can look it up, but I will confirm.
Throw it up on screen,
is
just for the listeners.
Brevity is about efficiency and to the pointness.
Concise and exact. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So just to make it tight, right? Just to
Sorry, I
keep it
didn't have
simple.
the fucking, who's the textbook on the dictionary?
So we have democracy and capitalism, right? Whereas in socialism and communism, those are one and the same. There is no difference between those two, which is what makes China such an interesting and unique vibe.
If they want to bulldoze your house and build
something,
something over it, like as a city planner, they'll just do it. They don't have to ask you. There is no
Right.
eminent domain. There's no
Right,
process.
right.
They just go, we're going to build some shit.
But what I'm
and
really
take your
getting
shit
at, though,
away.
dude, what I'm really getting at, though, is this idea that in America, what we've really had is public school, which is kind of a socialism idea, okay? And then we have the capitalistic version, which is private school. So there's a choice there. We have a minimum standard in public school, which everybody has access to.
Yeah.
Whether you own a home or not, because even renting, the
I'm
building
blow
owner...
your fucking mind in 2 seconds.
The building owner still pays property taxes. So that's what public school is for, right?
Do you want 7th
And
Street
then-
entry where anybody can sign up to play a show?
Slow down.
Or do
slow
you
down.
want pay to play?
Write it down if you have to, but slow down because I'm going somewhere with this. So then if we go to policing, okay, what made America great was a balance between powers, okay? So you have a very socialistic, communistic state police or city police. In our case would be the Minneapolis Police Department. Follow me? Okay. And then you have your like Minnesota State Highway Patrol. Okay. That's the communistic socialistic side. Those are appointed officials that are hired. There's no elections. But then you have your sheriff's departments, which are the democratic version of policing. Those are elected. Your sheriffs are elected on a county level. Okay? Right?
In many states,
But then you have a capitalistic version, which is called private security. Right? So there's a balance of all of these things. You can do this over and over again. This is what made shit dope here.
After 9...
This is what made shit dope the whole fucking time. The only thing that doesn't apply is fire, because there is no private fire department, and that's stupid.
Look what just
it's a
happened in
waste
Hawaii.
of time.
Like, fucking Jesus.
Could they have done better with a private?
Could it have been
Probably
better
not.
private or public?
Probably
I
not,
don't know.
because only the rich people would have had their
That's-
shit not
that-
burned down.
That is a very poignant case study on that, for sure.
I bet not, though, because.
Motherfuckers, tons of people died because they
But do you
didn't
see?
have the
Do you see the?
ability
Do
to
you see
respond.
the road I'm bringing you down here? Where it was always a balance, and that's what's made things great. I think the problem is, and where I don't like the idea of either side is, the left wants to make everything essentially socialized, and the right wants to fucking privatize everything. And I'm telling you, dude, I do not want to live in Ready Player One, bro. I do not want to live in a world where every inch of my screen is advertising space. I do not want
I
to
don't
live in a
either.
world where me taking steps.
Advertising is capitalism,
is-
though, so
I
careful where you tread.
What we're talking about, though, is crony capitalism, where corporations
But free
run the
market
government.
is going to let advertising run free. The
Only in the market, which I'm
in
fine with.
1996, I got the ability to study abroad in Norway, Oslo. The fucking
I think I lost you there at the end,
the
though, dude.
capital.
I think I lost you there at the end. I think.
No, you didn't. I'm just making an analogy.
Okay, I'll hear you out. I thought I lost you.
No, you didn't, because like I'm on this economic tip.
Because I do not want to live in Ready Player One. Like, as much as I sound
Well, okay,
as much as I sound like I'm like,
Before I go forward,
privatize everything.
No,
I'm not.
no. Before I go
I'm kind
forward,
of the opposite.
what are you defining as Ready Player One?
Where like there is no real government. It's basically what do
Anarchy?
they call it? There's a word for this. No, there's a word for this where it's like it's not corporate bureaucracy. It's not corporate democracy. It's
Oligarchy?
no. It's basically where the corporations. So what's happening now? The corporations run everything.
Yes.
But they do it under the guise of politicians.
They do it under the guise of anti-monopoly rules.
There's a word for this, a technocracy or some shit like that. I don't fucking remember.
Idiocracy?
No, look this up. Look up future government. Look up future government. Murph, look up future governments.
All right.
Because I'm telling you, there's a word for this, and it has to do with the idea that
I think you're right.
Essentially,
Think of it.
corporations just straight up own everything and run everything. And so even elected,
Corporatocracy.
it's exactly what we're dealing with now, but with less bullshit. Like
Yeah,
basically,
I mean, fuck, man.
it's just like Walmart literally owns everything. It's Ready Player One. I mean, there's why can't I think of what
Jared,
this is fucking called?
You're basically describing
Anybody in chat,
You're describing
for the love of God.
you're describing a socio financial environment where
It's not an autocracy because it's not an all-powerful
no, but
government.
you're describing
It's
an
that
environment where the corporations basically like
they
are so
own
embedded
everything.
that
It's even more
they're
than
the
that.
means of production
They're
and
already-
they control the
Yeah, they literally
they
own
have
everything.
hijacked democracy.
They own
okay?
every inch of
They've
land.
hijacked democracy.
They own every
Your
inch of
vote
land.
doesn't fucking matter because
Everybody works
the
for
fucking
these. You see it in these dystopian video games where a company owns a planet. So everybody works for the company. Everybody rents from the company. Everybody
Right.
buys their fucking
Star
toothpaste
Wars?
from the company.
Well, that's what has been illegal for the longest time. You know, the corporation owning everything. You live in the corporation land. You buy the corporation.
Right. This has
food.
been done.
Yeah.
Right. But we're heading towards that. And this is where I
It's
sympathize.
been displaced by
This
governments
is
doing.
it's beyond empathy. This is where I sympathize with the left and they want to go more communistic. And I
what
understand
is that show? Fallout. It's Fallout.
Yep.
It's the
Yep.
show on fucking
Yep, that's a great
Amazon called
example.
Fallout.
Yep.
Yep. I mean it's a video
show.
game, but yeah, that's a great
Well,
example.
Fallout was a video game, and they made the show on HBO. About
It's
it.
a great example though.
Yeah.
It's a great example.
Yeah,
It-
that's the fear, right?
Much
That's
as I
the fear.
As much as I fear genuine communism, because I've
But
got family.
Aren't the
I've got
fuckers,
family who
aren't the
came from
fuckers
that.
who are owning the bunkers in Fallout just as communistic
Yes.
as the people that they were fighting?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So my fear of the left going towards communism, because I have family that came from communism, and I know exactly how that unfolds. And I could write a lifetime's worth of novels, which no one would read because I'm not good at writing
The
novels,
problem-
but they would be real. But I'm equally afraid of it going too far to the private sector. And literally,
So,
we
right,
don't have national
that's-
forests anymore. We
that's-
don't have fucking
That's the
protected
struggle,
wildlife
and that's
anymore.
what like modern philosophy is based on is the struggle between the fundamental rudiments of communism that seem to make sense on paper, like the utopia that seems to make sense for everyone, versus the rampant freedom of unchecked monopolistic capitalism, right? So there's some hybrid existence where people are in a middle class allowed to make a living, be artistic, and have some semblance of meaningful existence, right? So there's something between the two.
You know what's crazy is we already went through this once. Do you guys know this?
But there's something.
We already did this
Well, it
once.
was called the French fucking Renaissance, and they
Nope,
fucking cut
after
people's
that.
heads off.
After that, look up what's the president who broke up the monopolies. Look this up.
Was it Roosevelt?
So basically, I think it is. But basically, what happened is
The motherfucker was in office for 12 years. So
essentially the entire country was owned by a few corporations, right? And so he was like,
the
"You
railroads,
Roosevelt.
can't do this." Who was it?
James
Roosevelt.
J. Hill.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Roosevelt.
Teddy, right?
Yep.
Teddy
James
Roosevelt.
J. Hill, right here in our
1901.
hometown of St. Paul,
So
basically run show on all of us.
Yeah. So here's what happened, right? They
It
were
was the
like,
Sherman Antitrust Act.
"Yep." So they were like, "You can't do this. You can't own everything, right?"
Right.
So guess what happened?
It's un-American.
So but this was in 1900. So guess what happened? You can't own everything.
Right.
So guess what these rich people did? They formed what's called a conglomerate. Look up the definition of a conglomerate. What they're now allowed to do is be companies like what's called BlackRock.
Right.
So now they're just majority shareholders in every fucking industry of every
Or
company,
they buy
every
stock
company of
in
every
their
industry.
competitors, and it's like on the DL.
A number of different things or parts that are put or grouped together to form a whole but remain distinct entities.
To
Okay.
form a butthole? Wait, what?
Okay. So basically, in the business world, what that means is they own everything. They own a little bit of everything, and they're the majority shareholders in most things.
Yep.
So therefore, here we are 125 years later.
Think about
and
it.
we're in the exact same economic position we were in 1901.
It's still
That's what
happening.
nobody's willing to talk about.
We
So
couldn't be
but-
running the show without Bill
but hear
Gates
me
and
out.
Microsoft.
But homie, hear me out. Hear me out. You have communistic China and you have communistic Russia. You have communistic North Korea. You have communistic everywhere. Okay, no matter what system you go into, you're always going to have the people at the very top of the food chain, and people in the middle, and people at the very bottom of the food chain. Okay? You're always going to have this based on a number of factors, and it doesn't matter which society you go into. No matter how much you bring the bottom up, the bottom will never have as much as the top, because you will always have greedy people who game any system, whether it's socialist or whether it's communist.
I agree,
Or
because-
whether it's capitalist.
because communist
it's
China,
going to happen.
how do you have the haves and the have-nots still in China if it's truly communist?
Correct. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Well, and
And
the
I know people
monopolies-
from Russia, and they're like, listen, dude. They go, listen to me. And I don't know that this is true. This is just what I've been told. And I trust these people. But here's what they said. They go, bro, when you're in Moscow, like, bro, it's dope. They're like, there's black people. It's fucking sick, dude. It's a dope place. Like, Moscow's the shit. Okay? But I was able to sneak outside of the city. There's a very key sentence I just said. I was able to sneak outside of the city. Like, you can't just come and go as you fucking please. No matter what you think, you can't. Okay? And as soon as you leave their major metropolitan cities, you go into straight up, like,
Ghetto poverty.
1895. Like, there's no electricity, there's no running water. Like, it's not the ghetto, it's the past. And I trust these people who told me these things.
What's wrong with the past?
It's not about equality.
My-
It's we're going to hoard all the wealth into these areas, and if you don't subscribe to this dictatorship,
I'm just being
you
an
are
asshole.
living in nothing. Like, you get nothing. You are completely fucked on your own, and you don't get access to anything. And
Well,
anybody who
at the end of
builds,
the- at the end of
anybody
the
who
day,
builds or expands,
it costs millions of dollars to
immediately
run
consumed.
power, gas, and electricity.
allegedly,
Allegedly.
so I
Well,
don't get sued.
True. If you want to say allegedly we have money shortages, then we need to start talking about.
But let's go back to something you brought
No, we
up,
need
dude.
to start talking about economic theory.
So
at
let's
that
go back to
point,
something you
because
talked about.
There are
hold
people,
on. Buddy.
there are
buddy.
theorists that basically say that the argument about the national deficit, be it who's responsible, the Republicans or the Democrats, is
Sure.
it bad to owe money? Well, I would argue loosely on economic theory that if you subscribe to Einstein that energy is not can't be created or destroyed,
But merely converted.
then what is the difference between money and energy? Nothing. Okay? So, if that is your construct,
Okay.
debt, there's nothing wrong with debt. Debt is
So I
just
don't-
debt is simply a construct of the monopoly.
Okay, fine.
That is the construct
So let's
of
pretend being in
money
debt doesn't
and an
matter.
economic system.
Debt
You can trace
is
it back
control.
to barterism, blah blah
It's
blah.
fine. Okay,
So-
I hear you.
So,
let's
is there
pretend,
really any ever shortage or surplus of anything?
hear me out. So
I don't
so-
think there is.
Okay,
It's about
but then why?
distribution
Then why can we send an
and
unlimited?
who gets it.
So then why can we? Okay, that's the question. So why can we send an unlimited supply to Ukraine, but we can't fix Flint, Michigan's water supply?
Precisely. There is no reason
Why do we
for
have
that.
why do we have an epidemic of a homeless crisis
Number
and a
one,
mental
because
and a
we
mental
have a
illness?
foreign
'Cause here's the
policy
thing.
agenda to
I'm gonna say
control
it. I'm
the
gonna say
Baltic.
I'm going to say it, and I don't care who.
Number two, we don't
Ian,
give a fuck about
Ian,
black people in fucking
Let me
Flint.
say this, because not only do we have that problem, but not only do we have a regular homeless problem, but we also have a serious mental illness problem, which
We do,
includes.
but I'm going to say for the record that there's no difference between Kamala Harris and Trump in terms of whether they give a fuck about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump probably feel the same. If we're talking about Department of Defense policy in the United States of America, and I will quote the fact that fucking a 5-star general Eisenhower, when he left office, warned the American public against the military-industrial complex. And the one thing that the speechwriter left out was the fact that he said military-industrial complex. The speechwriter actually originally wrote military-industrial congressional complex. But yes, I do. But he thought that was too much shit. So my point fucking is that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's and hers, thems and theirs, heirs and aries, and whatever fucking pronouns.
I don't do the extra
I'm going
ones.
to take this moment to make this fucking joke about pronouns because I want this to be heard, and I'm fucking don't fucking care.
Okay, you're really
Here's
working up to it.
my
Okay, I'm sorry, buddy. Go for your
goddamn
joke. Okay.
pronoun. I'm getting fucking
the stage
pissed.
is still
I'm
yours.
getting fucking pissed off.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
I work with tribes as a city planner now all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just got back from Albuquerque to work at San Domingo Pueblo. If there is anyone on this fucking planet who should be concerned about how you address them, it should be our Native American friends on the land that we fucking took from them. That they allow us to be here still on. That aren't domestic
I'm Native
terrorists.
American. I'm Native American, and
There
I'm,
you go.
And I'm white, and I'm like, no, dude, we won that.
Okay,
we
fair
won
enough.
that from us.
Fair enough.
Like,
but here
as somebody who's of both
fair enough,
lineages,
fair
I'm
enough,
like,
but here we are.
I'm like, no, dude, like, it
But if
wasn't
I
we
hear
stole it.
one
We
more
won it.
fucking
It was a
person-
war, just like every other fucking territorial war of all human history.
if I
No,
hear-
seriously though, like, dude. It's so insulting when people do that. Like, especially, no offense, but when white people do that for natives, it's like, even when natives say it was stolen, no, we beat your ass. And again, I'm talking about my own people. My white ass beat my native ass. Like, I'm not guilty about that. I'm from both people. Like, this is how all territory has ever been decided. In all of human, this is the reality we used to live in.
We're all fucking conquistadors,
but here's the
man.
point. Now that all the land has been settled and all the land has been agreed upon, whether you agree with it or not, like, now we're done. So now when somebody invades somebody's territory, everybody's like, that's unethical. But that's how all of everything has ever been done.
And I will...
And like, I'm somebody who's native, and I'm like, I'm not going to get into this game where, like, is part of me supposed to feel guilty about the other part of
Jared,
me?
I'm
what
about
the
to rub
fuck
your
are we
shoulder.
talking about?
I'm about to rub your shoulder.
How about you rub my nuts?
I'm about to rub your nuts.
All right,
And my
rub 'em.
point
Rub 'em,
is
buddy.
to the pronoun concept about being too sensitive because of your...
And yes, I'm also still
because
Jewish,
of your
you
point,
bitches.
because of your
I can
point
hear it in the chat.
that you're saying, how sensitive do we need to be because you're both native and have European descent? The point is in my personal experience working with all walks of life through the music industry and then all walks of life, but more predominantly now as a city planner and working with sovereign nations and doing work for them, I don't hear a single Native American come up to me and say, I want to be referred to in these pronouns. I hear my white co-workers, males mostly, say, I want to be referred to as this pronoun. And to that, my joke is, and I'm going to say it on air and I don't give a fuck, as soon as I hear my client come up to me and say, Ian, fuck you. My name is not John Whitefeathers. It's John runs with white feathers or whatever fucking pronoun they want to add to that. I don't hear Native Americans being concerned about that. And that goes back to, do we stop to help the homeless person on the street corner? Because those are the most marginalized people in our society, and yet they're not the people crying about fucking pronouns.
Right.
So give me a fucking break, people. Relax.
It is interesting too because
Fucking
like
relax.
the only people I ever hear talking about Latinx,
You're
which
either
is
an
like,
asshole or you're not.
have you guys heard of
right?
Latinx?
Latinx?
Yeah.
No, I only know what my daughter tells me.
So Latinx is the gender neutral version of Latino.
Oh, jeez.
If you ask any person below the Rio Grande, and yes, we say Rio Grande way up here.
I was on the Rio Grande.
There's just
working
too many
with the
fucking
Pueblo.
rules.
Isn't it
Santa
technically
Domingo,
the
I was
Rio
in-
Grande?
I was
but we
in
say the Rio Grande
Albuquerque.
way
I
up here.
was
Way
like-
up here, we say the
I
Rio Grande.
crossed the Rio Grande 3 times.
But
last
anyways,
week.
here's the point.
I
You ask
watched Rio.
anybody below that fucking river, and they'll be like, Latinx, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's Spanish and Catholic, man.
Like,
That's
no. This is some white people shit from America
all
where
white
we
people
made up
shit.
Latinx.
It's
Suburban
conquistador
white
shit, too,
girls.
though, to a
It's
certain
stupid.
extent.
Yeah.
It's because we have trans friends, and if you transition, like I'm okay. You're an adult. Do what you want. I'll
Yep.
honor it. The gender neutral shit, the non-binary shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
They,
Fuck
them.
that. Pick one.
They, them.
Look however
Pick
you
one.
want. Pick one. But I'm not doing a Zer, Zay Zim.
Yeah.
Fuck all the way
Once
off.
it's cut
I'm not
off,
playing
I'll
a game.
Call you a her.
No. Once you look like a chick, you're a
You
chick.
meet
Once
me,
you look like
we'll
a dude,
shake
you're a dude.
hands. We'll do our
I'm
formalities.
gonna be polite. I'm gonna be respectful.
We're
But
gonna
if,
respect each
but
other.
if you tell me some made up word
it's
to
almost,
call you by,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, that's what I said to my daughter.
I'm not doing it.
You guys
I'm
are
not.
hijacking
I'm not-
pronouns
I'm not
and you're
u-
using it wrong.
I'm not using made up words.
Every time my daughter says they are
Now,
coming,
granted-
I said, who
mean-
all is coming?
I mean,
Oh,
I
they
looked it
are.
up. Like
How many
they,
people?
them actually is an okay adjustment. You can do.
Yeah,
they,
I'm not
them.
doing that either because
You
you're
can
not
do
more
they,
than
them.
one
I
person.
don't know
I'm
how
not
many
doing they
people we're
them. No,
talking
pick
about.
one.
Yeah.
I'm not doing they them. I'm not doing they them because you're not more than one person. I'm not speaking about you like you're plural. Like it causes confusion.
I said, hijacking
It causes confusion.
Come up with a new word. That's okay. Come up with a new word.
No, I'm not doing a new word. Pick one.
I'm just saying, if they
You
don't like
pick a
him,
new word.
her,
I'm not doing a new word.
pick a new
Call me
word.
a bigot. I don't care.
Don't hijack an existing.
If you want to make a transition, I have trans
Yeah,
friends.
I
If you
respect
want to
that.
make a transition, I'm with you. I support you.
Yep.
I will literally march for your right to do so.
Yep.
Like I'm with you. I got your back. I'm an ally. But what I'm not going to do is when you're unsure about all this shit and you want me to go down the road with you on fantasy fucking land and you want the best of both worlds, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do
Until
that.
you change,
That
what are
is
you
an
born with? I'll call you
unreasonable
that.
proposition.
Yeah.
It's an unreasonable proposition, and I'm not doing it. Make your fucking mind up. Figure it out.
There always
Figure it
has to be
out.
compromise. Fair.
I don't think that's an unreasonable stance to have. And if it is,
in
then
a
I'm not the
juxtaposition
unreasonable
in a
person.
juxtaposition of the things that people fight about and the fact that they don't realize that the Democrats and the Republicans voted unanimously for the #1 fucking biggest military spending bill in the history of the planet. Fuck everyone.
You know what, Jared? You
haven't
sound
been
like a
paying
fucking
attention.
boomer, and I'm older than
You're
you
a bunch
are.
of fucking sheep who have
Well,
everything washed over
you guys
your
really
fucking
sucked.
heads.
The boomers, your whole generation, you guys really sucked. You guys really fucked up a lot
I'm
of
not
things.
a
No,
boomer, man.
But I'm gonna
tell you what.
65.
Jared, I love rainbows, but not every day can be a fucking rainbow.
I'll tell
Sometimes
you what,
days
though,
are
man.
kind of shitty.
The boomers,
And then you just have to fucking figure out how to deal with it.
the boomers, man, you guys figured a lot of shit out at the same time, though, man. And
I-
so did the hippies.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is combine the best of all of your wisdom from the past 150 years as technology has come about. Because even you go back 2,000 years, those motherfuckers figured a lot of shit out, dude.
No
and a lot of that shit is still true today when we're
Yep.
talking about wisdom.
Foundation.
Right? The boomers knew some shit.
Yep.
The fucking hippies knew some shit. The fucking 80s babies.
Well, it's definitely-
what Gen Xers figured
It's
some
definitely
shit
a
out.
problem
The
that we don't-
millennials have figured some shit out.
We
And the
forget
Gen,
history.
the
We
Gen
don't carry it
Zers are
forward.
figuring. Dude, some of these Gen Zers are really impressive,
Well,
dude.
it's because they're so lazy. They don't want to do anything. They
No,
just figure
some
out
of them
the
are
easiest
the
way to do
opposite.
stuff.
Bro, no, I'm telling you. Generation
It's
Z,
impressive when they
Gen
don't do
Z is
stuff.
split into two exact categories. And so far, my evaluation, no matter how many young kids in the music industry I meet, and my brother's friends who's exactly
Are they all
this age.
DJs?
No, dude, listen to me. There's 2 exact categories. They're either fucking worthless or they're fucking awesome. It's 2 exact categories.
Sure.
They are split in complete perfect half.
There's no middle ground.
There is 0 middle ground. Dude, I'm telling you, you meet somebody who's 22 years old right now, they're either fucking awesome and you're like, I fucking love this kid.
Yeah.
This kid is fucking cool.
Yeah, they
or
got it
you're like, we're fucked.
Or you're a
Fucking
DJ.
We're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground where it's like, oh, this person will be like a warehouse worker.
It will never be the president.
No. It's one of the two. They're either dope as shit or they're fucking
Yeah.
retarded.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I say retarded. I'm so glad I decided to
should.
stop caring, and
You
I'm
should.
bringing. I'm
There's
liberated.
nothing wrong with
I'm
it.
liberated.
Everybody will say there's something wrong with it, but there really isn't anything wrong with it. You're not saying this person is retarded.
I
And
am
you
retarded
can.
a lot.
Yeah, and you can say
From
I'm
time to
retarded,
time,
but
I'm
you're
quite
not,
retarded.
You're not using it in a derogatory way towards somebody who is mentally challenged.
Never.
Right.
No. The same
Exactly.
reason I would never call a gay person gay.
Exactly.
But when I'm being gay, I'll be like, dude, I'm being super gay right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
dude, this is a Office.
Gay
Have you
means-
ever seen The Office?
Oh yeah. Love
Dude, okay, there's a scene where Michael Scott goes, you don't call gay people gay and you don't call retards retards.
Right.
But when your friend is being a gay retard, you call him a gay retard. That's on The Office on NBC, dude.
When
like,
did
so
gay-
fuck off.
It is.
Fuck off.
When
Like,
did
and this was
gay-
funny, and it is always funny.
When did gay go from being a
Don't
happy,
put it there. Don't
great
put it there.
person
Hang it
to
up.
somebody
Hang
who
it up. There's a
butt
fucking.
fucks?
There's a
I got it.
Hercules.
I got it.
No, right behind you. There's a Hercules
I-
up on the wall.
Do it.
There's a Hercules right there. I fucking love the Hercules stands, dude. They're the best. They lock in when you drop them down, dude.
We need
got
we
one,
need a,
two,
a
three,
wireless so you
four.
can just have the amp on and just have a wireless so we can make this music show what it needs to be.
This is not a music show. I'm gonna fucking dude. I'm gonna stab everybody, bro.
Stab.
Oh fuck, dude. You guys are gonna create.
We're here for you. Stab us as you feel.
That was my new
Necessary.
thing. Stab.
Dude, have I played you? Oh, you've heard it. You've heard that new fucking Montoya Machine shit.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not complicated, or I mean, it's not
It's not.
copyrighted,
I'm
so
trying
we
to
can
think
play
of the
it.
track that I like.
You like the shitty songs.
No, fuck
you have bad taste in
I like
music.
the fucking metal shit.
Yeah,
bro.
I know you have terrible taste in music.
Fuck you.
Let's see if we can play Senescence. Is it
Okay.
working? Oh, I hear it. I hear it. It's gonna fade
Let's
in.
do it.
This is a banger of a tune, dude.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, I know you don't, because you don't have headphones on. We got to get you headphones, Murph.
We gotta get headphones.
We got to get a
turn it up.
6. Here's what we need. We need
There
a
we go.
6-channel headphone amp.
Yeah, we do.
Google it. How
It's a
much
fa-
is a
it's a
6-channel
fade-in.
headphone amp?
It's a fade in.
Yeah, it's too long. So I think
Long
this.
intro.
I'm trying to convince Jeremy to make this the first single. He wants to.
Just get to the chorus, bro.
So Jeremy wants to shoot a or a video in October, and I'm trying to convince him to do this as the first video. But we would cut out this intro,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Behringer has an 8.
No, I don't
know
like
it's
Behringer.
Behringer.
I don't
I
like
know,
Behringer.
I
No,
know.
I don't want to do Behringer.
Art has one. 6.
How much is that one?
Oh, it's fucking expensive. $209 versus.
Don't know if this will ever be over. You speak underneath your breath. Spare me all those dirty looks. Mind yourself, you mind what you took. Shine a light on backdrop eyes underneath me now. The creature dies, got me feeling worn out and cold. I close my eyes. That's as it comes. You'll find what it does. It will change me it comes for me, like it came for you. Well, I don't know what I will have to do. When it comes for me, like it came for you. Well, I don't know what I will have to do. When it comes for me, like it came for you. Well, I don't know what I will have to do. When sadness comes, it changes who I see in the mirror. I'm looking around and I barely recognize you. Here we are, we're just falling apart. Got sadness inside, they barely see anyone. Oh God, what's left of me? 'Cause I'm just sloughing off. Cast these arms aside, we've had enough.
Fuck, baby. It worked. Ah, we're unmuted.
I really don't care. That's what I keep trying to tell you.
And
I don't care.
The one thing I
Why are we
didn't
That's
still playing
fine.
music?
All I'm trying to do is unmute this. There we go.
Unmute. Yeah.
No,
Or
what
my
I was
gu-
trying
or-
to tell you is
or my
that's
guitar,
fine.
Or when I was too coked out, my
Dude, that's
fucking
what I
guitar
kept
player
trying to
showed
say.
up.
I'm like, dude, that's
My
fine.
guitar tech showed up.
Dude, that's what I kept trying to tell you. Dude, I'm like, listen, dude, that's fine. All I'm asking for is a favor. You can't do me a favor. I'm not trying to guilt trip you. I'm like, I'll just ask somebody else to do the favor. And here's the irony. I've asked fucking 1,900 guitar players.
Everybody's like,
Dude, it's just like, yeah, I got a bunch of people that are interested,
we're
but
all
like
old and lazy, bro.
no one is willing to be like, I want to be the guy. Everyone's like, I'll fill in. You know what I mean? And it's like, I totally understand it because I ran into the same thing with my project when I was trying to put it together.
I did with mine too.
It's so hard. But that's what I'm kind of trying to get across to everybody is like, yeah, that's the point, is like, do this and help Jeremy get his thing running. Because then when you want to get your thing running, guys like us will literally be like, well, I'll do it for you. Like, I'll help you get it running. Like whatever you need. Dude, do you want me to play drums, bass, guitar? What do you need? Like, are you writing all the music? Are you like, do you need me to write shit? Like, that's what I'm trying to build, is a coalition of dudes who's like, we're going to all help each other build one leg of our own individual tripods.
I will help you.
And I've talked about this 1,000 times on these podcasts, which is like, let's say you're the guitar player for Ginger Jake, right? And that's your entire musical identity. But what do you do when Ginger Jake breaks up? Now you're fucked. So now suddenly you either have to join another band or you have to start a solo project.
Or become a city planner.
But let's fast forward this to today's reality, right? So let's say Ginger Jake is a real thing now, but let's say you also have a solo project on the side. So if Ginger Jake breaks up, you're fine because you still have a solo project already up and running, good to go. And on top of that, you have a social media presence. For my dumbass, I do this stupid podcast, right? Some guys, they do guitar playthroughs. Some guys are doing solos on fucking Instagram, like Logan Stahlecker.
Right.
Famous guitar players do the same thing. Some guys do online lessons, like Mike Sallow.
Nope.
So you have an online presence, plus you have your solo project.
I get all that.
And then,
Me personally, I
and
was
then
just
that
like,
third
I don't
leg.
fucking care anymore.
Fine.
I quit.
But other guys do care,
I know.
right? Other
I know
guys
they
do
do.
care. So that's what I'm trying to give them the advice is like that third thing can be whatever you want, right? And your only other option is, if you're trying to like do music full time, your only other option is to be Eric Vobeda, who's in like literally 4 or 5 bands as a guitar player. Like, he's a full, like, that's just what he does. I think he might have a day job again just because he had a kid. I think he needs the fucking, that guaranteed medical insurance. But, like, I don't think he needs that day job. If I remember right, I think he could survive just being a guitar player. But I think he went and grabbed a day job for the health insurance. But I might be speaking out of school on that. But my point is like, if you want to be a full-time successful entertainer or musician, there's legs of this thing. You're not allowed to just be the guitar player for Husker Du anymore. You're not allowed to just be the bass player for ... anymore. It's just not real, because bands break up now, dude. You know? And then what do you do? What do you do if your entire identity is built off being the bass player
fucked.
Band XYZ?
You're fucked.
That's my point, dude. So don't be fucked. So here's preventative maintenance.
Go
dude.
to school.
There's I'm saying, but let's be serious.
I am being serious. I'm case in point
my God.
that I fucking decided to go get a...
What is that? What
I don't know.
the fuck?
I
is that,
decided to go
Steve?
get a master's
Steve,
degree
I don't know
because
what the fuck you're doing.
I got fed the fuck
Almost
up with
every
the fucking
podcast,
music industry.
dude. You got to get that under control. I
It's
don't know
not going out. It's not going out.
It's enough to distract me.
Yeah. Well, we got to figure out audio.
That is too much, and it's loud when every time it happens, dude.
It's from Facebook.
I don't
It's
know
just
what you're
auto-
searching in the
liked it.
background, dude,
Yeah.
but you got to cut it
Well,
out, dude.
I'm
You got to
searching
stop.
Tank Davison, Outlaw
It's
Saint.
like, hello.
It's the only band in town that'll take anybody over 50.
Jared, in terms of like, let's do
Tank.
music post
This
40,
podcast is chaos.
post 45. This is actually going to be. This podcast in particular is going to go down in fucking history. I know.
This has been chaos.
This is
This whole night has
great.
been chaos.
This is a fucking great podcast if there ever has been one.
I've had a few.
I'm happy to be a participant.
This one is chaos. We'll see how it goes
I
down.
love it.
Either people are gonna love it or they're gonna
Right.
fucking hate it.
You know what?
dude.
If you don't love it, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna
That's
tell you
right.
tell you that right now. Jared, I don't mean to alienate
like.
any of your fans.
I don't think you can alienate my fans. My fans are savages.
Go fuck
My
yourselves.
fans are the best fans. I only
You know what?
have
You know
I
what the-
only have
you know what
a
the-
handful of them, but they're the dopest motherfuckers, dude. Because my fans are true ride or die motherfuckers. Everybody,
You have to be.
Every single person who subscribes to this channel is
The-
a ride or die person, and they're like, "Nah, man, I don't give a fuck. This is a real dude."
That's the attitude.
And I might not even be right half the time.
No.
but they know
But
I'm
that's
being
the
real.
attitude.
So
The
you
whole
comment.
point is I'm being real and I'm being honest,
Hey, look, man.
and that's all that matters.
I might be pop,
might be an
part
asshole, but
pop
at least
rock,
you know I'm being
I might be
honest.
part fucking metal, I might be part
Damn
whatever.
straight.
People can look at every fucking song I've ever written in my catalog that I ever touched the guitar to, and guess what? It's not all fucking metal.
Dude, I'm so
There's-
jealous of your beard, dude.
There's some shit that like people would be like, "Oh, what a pussy motherfucker," or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I don't.
I'm super jealous of your
care.
beard, dude.
I'm jealous of your beard. I'm jealous of your podcast. I'm. What I'm trying to say is like, Jesus Christ, dude.
You have a great beard, dude.
The music industry is what gave you my thick skin, and so if you can't take criticism,
Yeah.
if you can't be
That's
called
an interesting take.
out for like, oh, I might be wrong. That's a whole nother component, because like you set out on life and you're like, oh, I'm right about this or I'm wrong about that or whatever, but like the fact of the matter is like we're all right and we're all wrong at different times. And if you can't, I think that's kind of the evolution of pronouns to be a certain extent, and somebody's probably going to chime in and be like, fuck you, Ian, you're an asshole, but
I'm not
I
even
don't really
I don't
fucking
know, dude.
care, because I have this beef with young people these days. It's like you want to be coddled. You want to be like, oh, I don't have to worry about anything. No,
They
you
can't
do.
take criticism.
You do. You have to worry about your fucking mortgage. You have
Yeah.
to worry about your fucking this and that. That's being a fucking adult. That's not
Yeah.
being considerate. That's about like survival, because as good as life gets for anyone, at the end of the fucking day, tragedy can strike in 2 fucking seconds. And if you don't know how to fucking handle life, motherfucker, go fuck yourself. And I got no pity for you whatsoever. And Jared, yes, I am maybe a communist, and maybe I am a liberal Democrat voting motherfucker. But at the end of the fucking day, I'm still just practical. And that's like, get some thick skin. Because if there's one thing that made me a fucking musician, it was getting picked on by motherfuckers who back in the day would be considered a bully. And I dealt with that for much. Like, can I say something personally? Like, I wasn't circumcised. I never thought I was going to get... Let me just say that. Like, fuck it. I don't care.
I wish
at
I
one point in
wasn't.
my life, I thought I was
wish I
never...
wasn't.
At one point in
I
my
was
life,
not expecting
I
that,
never
dog.
thought I would actually have a fucking girlfriend because of the circle of friends that I had and the shit talk that I got being a star hockey player for Chaska fucking high school. I got recruited to play college hockey. I can sit here right now and say that I'm a city planner and I had a great fucking luxurious career as a musician because of the fact that like I got good grades by parents who gave a fuck and taught me piano lessons, okay?
But why do you
Taught me
give?
penis
Why do you
lessons.
give all that away though?
Why the fuck not? Because I'm not embarrassed about it at this point.
Right.
Yeah, but you
I
give,
used to be, but I'm not anymore.
I don't even feel
My
like you
lesson
understood
to
what I just
younger
said.
people who are pissed off about
Ian,
shit
Ian,
would be
Ian,
get thick skin.
Ian,
When people talk shit
Ian,
to you,
didn't even you
don't
be
pay
wussies.
attention.
you
Who
didn't
cares?
even you didn't even understand what I just said.
Maybe not.
You gave every single one of those accomplishments away,
In what fashion?
bro.
So I'm an entitled piece of shit. Sorry.
No, dude. Like every single thing you've accomplished is one of those deals where it's like the amount of fucking focus and energy.
Nobody gave me shit. Let me just say that.
Right, but you gave all your accomplishments away to growing up here, being privileged for this, being funded for that. Like, you literally...
It's half luck. It's half.
It's almost
fucking-
like you feel guilty.
I do. In a
Why?
way.
Why?
Because of the world we live in.
What the fuck are you even talking about, dude?
Because
What
of the fucking world we live in, man.
What the fuck
I feel like
are you
being. I
talking
feel like
about, dude?
accomplishing shit these days. Like you have to explain it almost.
So because you had an opportunity and you worked hard.
I know
and
you're
you-
setting
and-
me up here, Jared, but still.
I'm not setting you up for anything. I don't think you've actually thought this through, and I think you've been like somehow programmed to regurgitate this weird scripted rhetoric where it's like you're only allowed to be successful because you're white and privileged. Like, God forbid you worked for something. Like, I could give you
worked my
$1 million.
fucking ass off.
I could give you $1 million, but if you're an idiot and you don't fucking know how to handle $1 million, you're gonna lose it all, right? Like, you have to maintain.
high
Like I can give you everything in the fucking world, dude, but if you don't understand the opportunity you're being given, if you don't take advantage of it, you're a fucking idiot, dude. And that's the thing, is like,
Fair.
I can give you everything. I can give you literally everything. And if you don't take advantage of it and make your life better, fuck you, dude. Seriously, fuck you. Because I could have given everything to somebody else who would have taken advantage of it. But instead you're wasting it. But I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the proverbial you.
I realize
But on the opposite side of that spectrum, you were given something. And for some reason, dude, you're trying to like give it away. Like you didn't earn it. Like, homie, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, you've accomplished a lot. You've had like 3 dope fucking lives. You just explained them. But every single thing you described was something you legitimately, and I mean legitimately, had to work for, earn, like through no fame or fortune. Like, I know what it's like to be on the road as a struggling local and regional act. Like, dude, don't sell yourself short. There's no reason you should feel guilty that you had the privilege of opportunity, because you still had to be the guy who took advantage of that, man. And that's the reality that I'm getting at, is like, and that's the end of the day. That's the end of the day problem that I have with all socialism and communism, is that they don't talk about opportunity. They talk about outcome. And that is the disturbing factor for me, is because what they're trying to do is make everybody end at the same place, and that will never happen, because not everybody is willing to be fucking you, bro. And I understand your compassion, because I feel the same thing.
Well,
like, everybody should be given an opportunity. And honestly, I believe in a little bit of equity. So if you're like way back there, I should bring you to the front of the line and help you at least start from the same spot.
So,
but that's not what we're talking about
isn't,
anymore, dude.
and I agree.
And it's super fucked up, because
that's what it boils down
somehow
to.
it changed from that discussion
to
to you have too much. It stopped being about, let's bring that underprivileged black kid, let's bring him to the front of the line. It stopped being about that, and what it became is, let's take this overprivileged white kid and let's make him go back 20 fucking yards. That's not equity, bro. That's fucking racism, dude. Like, that's fucked up. And that's what I'm getting at. So I empathize and I completely understand really everything that you guys say. And I'm really with you on all of it.
For the record, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
Until we start condemning people because they made, like when we start looking at Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and we're like, they're evil. That's what the problem is billionaires. Bro, all they did is create a product, hire a bunch of people, and sell shit to completely 100% willing participants. Yep. And then the government subsidized that membership. The government
probably wishes they would have come up with that.
Subsidized it. Listen to me. Then the government subsidized Amazon memberships to lower income families
and help.
And then that just made Jeff Bezos more money.
And help.
then those same people say Jeff Bezos has too much money.
And help cities,
bro.
And help
what
cities
are you guys
facilitate putting huge
here's my
Amazon
point.
facilities in their cities because it would be good for jobs.
So Ian, here's my point.
So it's
what
placated.
the fuck are you guys talking about, dude? That's what I'm really getting at, is like,
it doesn't. Me personally,
the whole communist, borderline communist, like super far lefty, all you guys, like the people you identify with. What are you actually talking about, dude? Because I will look at your own systems and I will show you an oligarchy at the top who has everything, and I will show you peasants who have nothing.
And I would agree with you. And I think there is a hybrid in between there somewhere.
So please show me one of those. That
I don't know what it is.
So people bring up Denmark and Sweden. So Steve,
I think we're
hold this up.
collectively figuring it out as we speak.
All the countries people bring up as socialist fucking ideologies, right? Denmark, Sweden, fucking blah, 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 blah. You know what those countries are? The same. It's all a bunch of people who have, by the way, government-issued names.
Well, they have.
So they have lists of names you're allowed.
They have smaller jurisdictions too, so it's
they have lists of names you're allowed to name your children. Like in those countries, you can't name your kid whatever you want. Look it up. I swear to God, Denmark, legally approved names. You'll find a list.
What?
Yes, you. This is what I'm saying.
News to me.
This is what I'm saying. So people go, oh no, this is beautiful. You know what? They all look the same. They sound the same. They have the same fucking names. Look, here it is, right here. The naming laws of Denmark. Background. Keep going down. They'll have a fucking list, dude. They have a literal list of names you can name. Oh, find a different article. But trust me, I'm not making this up.
Cultural.
It's the same thing. Over there, it's the same thing because the government controls everything.
As a Norwegian,
Denmark has a list of 7,000 pre-approved names that parents can choose from. That's it. 7,000, bro. Wow. Okay, so when you want to talk about a perfect egalitarian,
that's problematic.
This is what I'm trying to say. You know what? They also don't have a lot of black people, bro. They don't have any diversity. So it's really easy to pick these countries and be like, oh, no, no. Listen, man.
No,
Socialized
I can add to
healthcare.
that.
Socialized health. Everybody's equal. Yeah, everybody's equal when they're literally the fucking same, bro.
Don't preach
when
at
you
me,
have a
'cause what I'm getting
Don't
at is
preach-
like
don't
I've
preach
been
at-
in
But listen,
Oslo
dude.
in 1996.
But you know what I'm trying to get
and
at, right?
Just like Minnesota has
Can we
been the recipients of Somalians or in the 70s Hmong like asylum seekers. Norway did that for certain groups.
Yeah,
of people.
but the amount of people, the
No,
percentages,
what I'm
it's
about
an
to say,
irrational
what
thing.
I'm about to say is that
4 countries
there
with
are
strict
certain,
baby naming laws.
there are
Germany.
certain factions of governments that say yes, let's do this.
Yeah, here's your perfect socialist countries. Look at this.
the
Look at
bulk-
this, Ian. Look at this, Ian. Look at your perfect
I
socialist
don't even
countries.
need to look because I
No,
was
you do
there.
need to look.
No, I
No,
was
you do need to look.
there.
Ian, look. Germany, Denmark. Scroll down. Sweden and Iceland.
Yes, I get that.
Those are probably also the top 4 countries that are ever cited when people go, "Oh no, we have perfect models of socialism." Look at Sweden also. You know what Sweden?
So,
you know why
if
Sweden's
you
so
let me
rich?
say
Because they
something.
hoarded all the Nazi gold, by the way. That's why Sweden is so well off, because they hoarded all the Nazi gold.
Well,
Because they were neutral
Minnesotans
during.
are pretty much descendants of Nazis.
That's not true.
It is. We're German and Norwegian, and my point is that
Swedish.
we can
and
sit
fucking,
there and look at this shit,
I'm Guatemalan.
but my
I'm Jewish, Native American, and Hungarian.
I'm
you fucking
0.8%
dick.
like
You just called
sub-Saharan
me a
African.
Nazi, you piece
I'm-
of shit.
I'm
You fucking bigot.
All I'm
8%
trying to
Martian.
say, is that I'm like I think you're taking it
All
to
Minnesotans are descendants of Nazis. He said, "You fucking retard, dude." I love you, dude, but you can't call us all Nazis, dude. That's insane, dude. You can't call us Nazis, dude. Dude, you can't call us Nazis, dude. You just called us all Nazis, dude.
No, I didn't. Actually.
You literally did.
You're singling me out for some shit that.
You just called us all Nazis, bro. I'm sorry. Sit down, dude. I'm sorry, dude.
No,
I didn't mean to offend you, dude.
You're not letting me get a word in the fact that fucking you're bringing up shit on the internet. Which is great.
Well, sit down, dude. I'm sorry, man.
You're
Sit down.
also
Sit down,
offending me
man.
From the standpoint that like you didn't let me finish the fact.
Well,
that
then finish, dude. Sit down. Finish.
I've been sitting
Finish and make people hear. Make
I've
sure people
been
hear you finish.
to
dude.
Norway. I've sat in the middle
Okay.
of fucking Oslo.
Okay. Slow down. I apologize. Make people.
I'm
make
not
sure people
really
hear you
that
finish.
opposed to what the opinions are in this room right now.
I'm sorry if I went too
What
far,
I'm-
dude.
yeah,
I
you
apologize.
did. A little
okay,
bit,
well, I
man.
apologize. You literally said Minnesotans are descendants of Nazis who didn't even exist until 1939. As a Jewish, a Jewish Minnesotan
I would argue with that, but
and
let
a
me
native
finish
Minnesotan,
my
I
point.
found that highly offensive. So I apologize
Okay,
if
well,
me calling you a
my family
retard
is
set you off.
German
I apologize,
and
dude.
Norwegian,
Calm down.
yada yada. But my point is that fucking just like
I
the shit
apologize.
that we deal with in Minnesota with people who are intolerant of possibly Somalians or the Hmong that came here in the 70s, it adds a layer to the social.
Pull that mic
It adds a
towards you.
layer to
I hear you.
the social existence that we all deal with, right? You bring in another population of people with different cultural values, and you need to figure out how to deal with it. What I witnessed in Norway when I went there as a Norwegian American is that Norwegian society is very isolated, okay? And so even though a faction of their government was like, yes, we should let immigrants or
Pull that
whomever
mic towards you, man. Make sure people can
immigrants
hear
or
you. dude.
whomever come to Norway, there was still a shitload of resistance to that. So I'm saying, like, I'm sitting here touting, yes, Norway or Sweden
Yep.
or Denmark or whomever, like, they've
And then-
got,
and then
they've
just
got
so-
these
'cause I don't
great
think people heard
profiles
it.
of government.
So I don't
but
think
it's
people
not
heard it when you were off
perfect.
mic. When you were off
It's not
mic.
perfect.
When you were off mic.
And I'm conceding to that.
When you were off mic, I don't think people heard this. So not everybody's 100% in on this conversation. When I showed you that on camera, you were way off mic, and you said, that's fucking problematic. And I said, yeah, it is problematic, and that's what I was pointing. And that's when I said, you know what else they don't have is fucking black people, dude. Like, they don't have
agree
any
with that.
diversity.
And when you
they
said
don't
that
have any
very
diversity.
fucking point,
and I felt like at that moment, I kind of lost you, dude.
No, you didn't.
I feel like I did.
I wasn't
Even if I'm
able
wrong,
to
I
get my
might be
word
wrong.
in. I was getting
Well,
frustrated.
I was also in
with
mid-rant.
that.
I was also in mid-rant.
Okay, fair
which
enough.
I've definitely let you rant, so keep going. And this is your time to
My
rant.
point
But
was
I
I
want
was,
to just
I
make
was
sure
agreeing with
we're
you.
catching
when you
every...
said Norway has no black people.
Well, very
It
little.
was kind of like,
They definitely do,
yes,
but
I
very
agree with
little.
you. And that's my point. And if I said, oh, Minnesotans are Nazi.
They also have the second best country in the
retract
world
that
for quality
statement.
of life, though. So it's interesting. It's and that's all I'm saying, dude, is like everybody loves to hate on America and they love to hate on capitalism. And I think there's a lot of problems with all of these systems, dude. But I think the
There
one
are.
place somebody like you, who's a super lefty, right, borderline communist by your own words, right, and somebody like me, who I don't know what the fuck I am. I have no idea, dude, because I'm not a libertarian, because they're basically anarchists.
I'm
I'm
with
not
you.
a fucking Democrat.
Yep.
I'm not a fucking Republican.
Same.
I don't want to live in Ready Player One. I don't
Same.
want to fucking be in
I'm in
fucking
the same
Russia or
boat. I
China
don't wanna
or
be-
fucking anywhere else.
I also don't want to be pigeonholed as a
Dude.
communist or a Democrat because I don't feel
Which is fine.
an
But,
association
but here's what I'm saying,
per
dude.
se. There's certain things that I can identify with.
Yep.
There's certain things that I can subscribe to, but not across the board. And I think
And that, dude, and
I think the
and that's why I can respect you
but
on
I think
that.
the takeaway
Because you're talking
here-
about the
but I
complexity
think
of
the
it, right?
yeah, right. And I think the takeaway here is
And
that
that's why I can respect you
I
on
don't
this.
think that any of us really identify with any of the shit that we're given choices with.
I think that's part.
And so the point is, maybe back to what my original point was, you know, if you look at society from a purely financial standpoint, in the middle class, like, we have, through racial lines, through religious lines, through et cetera, we have more in common with each other that way. And if we can make those links, it's less and less about Kamala or Trump,
Yeah.
and it's more and more about, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck does the average person need to fucking survive these days? So it's not a bipartisan issue,
It
but
is
yet,
not.
the party, the powers that be, want to make it that,
Yes, they do.
and they divide us because we are sitting here in this room as pretty amicable people that pretty much want the same shit, but we're cognizant of the fact that our fucking leaders are failing us.
Yeah.
Period. And we're all fucking frustrated.
100%.
And that's the reason I took off my headset and walked out of the fucking room, is because
I mean, you
we're-
didn't. You almost did.
I almost
but you
did, but
didn't.
we're fucking frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's palpable. And I don't think there's, at the end of the day, like I'm saying, I think 90% of shit in life, the three of us would agree on,
Mm-hmm.
but we're being taught to fucking disagree.
Yeah. We're being
And it's
diverted.
really unfortunate.
Yeah.
And it's, I feel, purely based on economics and the people. So if I say something about communism, or if I say something about socialism, or if I say something about capitalism, it's tongue in cheek because of the fact that at the end of the fucking day, we have more in common than we don't.
Mm-hmm.
But the powers that be and those means of production
Mm-hmm.
and those things that we do collectively want to bitch about are not on our they're not on our team. Those people,
No, and I agree.
Those people aren't our fucking
I
leaders.
think it's simple though. I think I explained this earlier when I was talking about the
It's about exploitation,
the
man.
education
It's-
system
it's-
or
you
the police
take-
force.
You
I
take
think
you
if
take
you
the
have a
working
balance-
class and you're like, I'm gonna exploit the working class because I own the means of production. Well, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't live on $18 an hour.
Yeah.
Not now. You
No.
could have a while ago.
But not anymore.
But it's all about control and the illusion of control. And
But-
we have control, but we don't know that.
But again, you guys, the point is like what I've been trying to say this whole time is where I drew the analogy with is the best example is the police system. Okay, you have a state appointed, socialized communistic vibe, right? That's Minneapolis police. That's the fucking Massachusetts State Police Department, whatever, right?
Yep.
But then you have your sheriffs, which are democratically elected.
Right.
But then you also have private police. If you're
The
rich,
sheriff is,
you have a
not
private.
the deputies.
Well, they're appointed by the sheriff.
They're hired.
They're appointed by the sheriff. So, again, if you have a corrupt sheriff's department,
Yes.
you re-elect a new sheriff and
Yep.
he cleans fucking house. That's
Yep.
the whole fucking point, dude.
Yep.
It's a balance. My problem is when we ignore that middle ground, okay? Because there's a reason and a value. And I'm using the police as an analogy, okay? So I hope everybody can really ride this wave with me, okay? Because I'm not actually arguing with a single thing you said or anything you said or anybody thing. This actually does not argue with anybody. What this is like, it's like a game plan if we're playing football, right? It's whether you play the run or the pass. That is the wrong. It's when to play the run or the pass, okay? So it's when to be socialist, when to be democratic, when to be privatized, when to be socialist. You see what I'm saying? These are play calls. These are not game plans. These are play calls, okay? So if you're on 3rd and 10, you're probably not going to play the run. You're probably going to try to defend the pass, okay? So the point being is there's a time and a situation for everything, usually in some sort of cohesive balance. Okay, so again, the entire idea that I bring up with the police is nothing more than a metaphor, and I hope everybody can just take this and apply this to whatever scenario you want. The whole point of the police force is stability beyond elections, because elections can be bought and sold. Politicians can be corrupted, right? So appointees, institutions are vital to stability, right? That's what they provide, is stability that transcend elections, which can be bought and sold. However, they lack accountability, which means we still need to have the sheriffs. Okay, so the first example was the police, the regular city and state police. That's a very socialistic and communistic institution. That's how that works. State, right? The democratic version of it is the fucking the sheriff's department. So we have corruption in the county sheriff's department and all his deputies. They're all on fucking meth. They're all on the take. They work for the corrupt casino like that stupid rock movie, right? Okay? So what do? We elect a new sheriff, right? Okay? Because even if the city police is also on the take, if we elect the right sheriff, the sheriff has enough authority to actually arrest regular cops. You see what I'm saying? And believe it or not, the only person who can arrest a sheriff, this is how weird American law works, is the coroner.
The coroner?
Yeah.
The coroner?
Yeah, it's the only person who has the legal authority to arrest a
know
sheriff.
that.
Yeah, it's a coroner.
County sheriff. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's a deputized law official, right? So it's wild. It's wild how this shit works, right?
Not the mayor.
No, it's the coroner. He's the person who
Not,
actually
not
the person
somebody
who actually
qualified to be
walks
an
up and puts the
undertaker,
cuffs
but
on.
literally the
Oh, wow.
coroner.
It's the coroner. Yep.
Wow.
There's
Yep.
a difference between an undertaker.
Because they're county officials.
Who arrests the coroner?
Probably
Mayor?
the mayor
Yeah,
or I don't know.
That's fucking.
But then
Judge Judy.
Yeah, there you go.
but then you have the private sector, right? So the super rich who can hire their own private security, who have to go through extra licensing, extra fucking blah, 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 but they get to carry a gun. They get to police the grounds. They get to fucking shoot people and arrest people. They're like, there's some fucking, like, there's some shit that goes down. You know, we're talking PIs. We're talking like, maybe not arrest people. I might have went too far with that.
well,
last
anybody
one,
can
but-
do it.
But do you see what I'm saying here?
I do.
So now take that analogy, and if we can do that balance, and you could do it with private school, right? You have public school, you have private school, right? You have all of these. If we can do that across every single thing, then we have balance. Then we have a good thing going. The problem is I think when we try to go way too far privatized or way too far to the I want to say the left, but it's just like way too socialized, way too communistic. The whole point is like none of these ideas, just like none of these people who promote these ideas are absolutely correct. It's a hybrid. It's a collaboration. like math, like physics, like music. None of these guys have ever been 100% right all of the time. It's generations of people. It's generations of people putting ideas together and building on top of one another where we come up with beautiful systems. That's the answer. It's not complicated, but I definitely think we got to set aside our egos in order to get there. Do you guys got anything to add to this, or are we ready to wrap this up?
Well, I got some stuff to say about music, but this isn't a music show, so.
No, it's not. You keep your fucking mouth shut.
This is not a fucking music.
I swear to God, the next person who talks about music is getting stabbed by this microphone.
This is definitely not a music show because I thought this is a picnic. I brought a fucking
food
sandwich.
You got anything to add?
No, I didn't eat enough today, and so I'm like.
Well, dude, thank you for bailing us out last
packed
minute.
Me a lunch.
Thank you for bailing us out, dude. I had so much fun, dude. Thanks for bringing the heat.
I did too. Sorry I got too drunk.
No, you didn't get too drunk. You came in hot, and I loved it.
I did come in hot.
You came in hot, and I loved it.
I've got this little chihuahua sitting down here by me, and I love him.
Like and subscribe, guys, because we got to get to 500 subs so we can monetize the podcast for Super Chat, and then all of that money goes to Steve until we get to 1,000 subs, and then we're going to start splitting it again. But we don't monetize until we get to 500 subs, and we're right around the corner. So hit subscribe.
Jared, what's his name?
Help us get to 500 subs. That's Peanut.
Peanut, do you have...
That's
Peanut,
her name.
Her.
That's my baby.
Peanut, do you have anything to say to
she
leave us with?
is super annoyed right now. I can see it in her eyes.
Do you have anything
so
you could say?
Hit like and subscribe so we can get to 500 subs. When we hit 500 subs, 100% of the money is going to go to Steve to help him get paid as our producer. And then once we get to 1,000, we're going to split it. But hit like, subscribe, share, blah, 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 blah. Steve, get us out of here, man.
All right.
Hit that outro.
Where's the...
I love you guys. Follow me at Jared Singer Live.
Where the hell's the outro button?
I don't know. Figure it out, homie.
All right, let's just stop. Wait.
That's what I pay you for.
I'm going to play music.
This is such a disaster.
There we go. Boom.
This is great.
There's some music.
Peanut is amazing.
There's the overlay.
Oh, yeah, we can play The Void. This is
Yeah,
good.
we'll play The Void.
Wasn't enough to be a void of misery. There's an emptiness inside I do not feel anymore. If I need to say this again, I'm in this through the end. And I believe that's what you to hear, and I believe that I have